Well, none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots, yeah. None of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots. I'm telling you now, the truth, the truth. Telling you, yeah, the truth, the truth. You have to go back to the roots, the roots. Go to the roots, to the roots. Yeah, man, you know, this is Benjamin out of the Smiling Coast, West Africa, Gambia, representing for the one and only Abu, the big man you don't know, the Soninke warrior, the man that brings the truth, Soninke warrior, the sign of enlightenment, the Soninke warrior, the righteous and the true African. Abu, reveal the truth to them, you know, no matter how them try run from it, because none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Yes, we have to dig back the roots, yeah. Fire!
Subscribe now.
I remember the days, all those years ago that never fade away. And I remember your face when you hit the ground. I can recall the time and place on a midnight walk through the old streets, trying to turn back the clock to the days of old, back to the days when all the things we knew were made of gold. As the world moves on, time sings a song. In the old neighborhood, as the clock strikes one, the memory lives just as it stood, like a quiet dream.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Afridamus Report. I'm your host, Afridamus. I want to welcome all of you to another edition, the Liberia edition that you guys have been requesting. But you see, you know what's funny? This right here would answer, the question that's been asked. For example, like let's say in the Pan-African space, the FBA space, when they say, let's unite, we come to Africa and create our space. Well, we've already got a blueprint. So hopefully we would learn something here today. So we're going to talk about colonization. Why is the FBA Black colonizer history of Liberia being whitewashed? Because when it comes to Liberia, all the evidence points to colonization, as we all know it to be. For example, I'm from Gambia. The British, they colonized Gambia. And let me explain how this happened. So the British people, they came, they colonized part of the country, and the other part is called a protectorate. So what is a colony? So the colony people who are not native to that land, when they come there, take charge of your governmental affairs, anything official, they are the ones in charge of it. They dictate the educational system. They dictate what can be built or cannot be built, how it's built. So therefore, we call them colonizers. Like in South Africa. And we're seeing the same thing in Palestine. That's what they say. But then when it comes to Liberia, Liberia fits all of that. But they would use words like, oh, they found it. Then the white people that came to America said they found America. George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, they call them the founding fathers. That's who we call them. But the same people would say they are colonizers. But these FBA blacks that went to Liberia, they became America, Liberia. You know, these were former slaves in the plantations of America. So in the mid, because like, okay, slavery was abolished, like the slaves became emancipated in officially in 1865, no, 1861, right? Um, yeah, the Emancipation Proclamation, somewhere around there, 1865. But prior to this, there were blacks who were free. So these were the blacks who took the trip, to Liberia. They chose to go there. But was Liberia just a fluke? Are the stories that we've been fed, is it true? Yes, we get it. Their skin color is black, but were they colonizers? How did they find Liberia? How did they end up there? How did they treat the people in Liberia? Who sponsored them? So that's what I'm going to bring to you today, uncover it, and we're going to time travel. This is not based in opinions or people making some videos to make themselves feel good. No, we are all going to sit here. It's just like the old times, and you're going to hear like those old time movie sounds. So get your popcorns ready. You are going to enjoy this because I'm going to bring you nothing here but the truth. Because we have actual footage of the Firestone Company. I'm sure, if you've never heard of Firestone Company, you've used their tires. They are the largest producers of tires in the world. So they have their rubber plantation in Liberia. So they made a movie, documentary about Liberia in 1949. So I'm about to show you that. And then, because this would show you life of actual, the Liberians, and you would get the history of Liberia. Then we would go to the lifestyle of the colonizers. So stay tuned. Oh, give me a moment. I went ahead. So kick back and enjoy Liberia in 1949. Okay? This is gold.
This is the story of Liberia, Africa's only republic. It is a story of many chapters and moods, a story of people and the land that sustains them. It is also a story of American enterprise in the lush tropical jungles of West Africa. The story of Liberia is first a story of land, a segment of land framed by the immensity of the Earth's second largest continent. In 1822, a group of free American Negroes set out to colonize this land.
Did you guys hear that? Free American Negroes set out to colonize this land. So this documentary was made in 1949 when, that was in work language. They give it straight. So it's a colony. Let's continue.
It was not easy. In 1847, after a quarter century of struggle, sacrifice, and hardship, these colonizers and their children founded a new nation for free men. It's named Liberia.
So the colonizers and their children. So just like the whites in South Africa, unless colonizer only apply to white people. So said the colonizers and their children. It wasn't easy for them to settle. So their story is just like when the white people came to America and in South Africa and in parts of Africa. Let's continue.
Means liberty. It did not take the colonizers long to discover that the land which they had chosen to settle was abundantly fertile. Plentiful sunlight and rainfall combine to create a climate that encourages growth. Food crops, timber, fibers, luscious fruits, and dense tropical vegetation. Another testament to the rich soil is the abundant floral growth. Bougainvillea, African moonflower, poinsettias, hibiscus, and a host of others. The story of Liberia is also a story of people, including 23 long-established tribes. Most of Liberia's tribespeople live in villages which are centers of community-owned farms.
So did you hear this? So how come so there is clear difference between the colonizers and the Liberian people themselves? Did you hear what they said? The Liberian people lived in villages. So let's see how the Liberian people lived, and then we'll see how their colonizers lived.
Self-sufficiency remains the keynote of tribal living, which is a way of life as well as a means of livelihood. Scenes like this housewife pounding and winnowing rice are everyday occurrences. Rice is the basic grain of the Liberian diet.
This was in 1949. 1949. If you just join in, this was in 1949.
Most Liberians are farmers. Their pattern of living is shaped by the land. These farmers are planting cassava, whose starchy roots are to Liberians what potatoes are to us. The African oil palm, the most important crops in the world today, supplies fats and gravy for the native diet and provides a valuable export. Fish are a delicacy. They abound in the coastal waters, and the tribal fishermen who catch...
So you guys remember I was talking about the canoes, and there are some of these people who want Africans to build ships so bad. And look, if the canoe works, it works. So this is the type of canoes I was talking about. There is some places where, even maybe in Liberia, they build bigger ones. But yeah, there's the canoes right there.
Them enjoy considerable prestige. Seining or trapping in freshwater pools for smaller fish and minnows is woman's work. Handicrafts such as weaving and mat making are done almost entirely by men. The cloth they weave...
So see, the Liberians were doing their own thing. You know, the weaving, I used to see this when I was growing up, the weaving. So this is all straight. They are farming and everything. I'll show you a little bit, then we'll go to their colonizers.
It has a wide variety of uses and is an important item of barter. Mat makers find the jungle an inexhaustible source of raffia and other fibers. A tribesman of outstanding importance is the blacksmith, whose portable anvil and goatskin bellows can be carried from village to village.
See, I used to see this when I was young. You know, the blacksmith, that's exactly how they do it, the African style. But yeah, see, so the Liberians were already doing their own thing. But the FBAs, America, they said they civilized these people. So only your colonizer would say they civilized you. So if I'm wrong, I will open the line later. Miss Smith said propaganda. Miss Smith, you'll get the opportunity to call in. No problem.
A highly necessary application of native skills is house building. This is a community project with many villagers lending a hand. The materials for these circular huts, small logs, vines, mud thatch, are plenty.
You know, Nightingale, that's a very interesting question you are asking. But you see, Nightingale, once you see them, their lifestyle, once you see it, you would know they were definitely the ones that owned slaves, because they were able to leave America in 1822. They came from the South. Yes, there were black people who were free, but they were in the North for the most part. So how is these people, how were they free and chosen to go to this place? So once you see it, you would know they are not ordinary Negroes.
The single all-purpose building tool is the cutlass. With the family and neighbors helping, these houses can be built in a single day at a cost of as little as $5.
So they are showing you how the Liberians they can build their hut like within a day you move in. He's showing you on film here.
Now this house built in a day becomes a home. Carrying their possessions with them, the family moves in. And moving is very simple. You just walk in, put your belongings down, come out, act natural, and immediately feel very much at home. Community living, working and living together, comes quite naturally to Liberian tribespeople, whose traditional tribal palaver is the African equivalent of the American town meeting or public hearing. Strong young men are first-hand bearers of gifts and friendly commerce. Here, tribespeople have long realized that little can be accomplished unless one is able to get along with his...
All right. So, you've seen that, right? You've seen that. So, yeah, let me show you the other side here, and you can judge it for yourself. And so let's look at, William Tubman in 1956, his inauguration. And I want you to pay attention and notice, what type of people, color are in these, videos. So give me a moment. I mean, I thought this was apartheid South Africa for a moment. So, fair use, here we go.
Informal attire.
So this was inauguration of President Tubman and in 1956. So this is the FBA crowd, and they are, the white people came from down south, racists down south supposedly, to attend inauguration with these Negroes. So, but if you look at their hats, they look at they are like Masonic people, because they had to do stuff like Masonic rituals. So here we go.
With words of light-hearted greetings and pleasantries, President Tubman.
So you see how that's President Tubman. So guys, go back and look at the other side, the white colonizers as well. How did they dress back in these times? So during this time, 1956, African countries, all the other ones, like in the Niggerville, all of us were still colonized. We were colonized by whites. But Liberia's colonizer is black. You see how they are dressed? Compare that to that village people. So let's keep watching.
One is again, as always, the gracious host of his country.
So, see, You see what they did? Exactly, 86 liar. Yeah, they are over there flexing on Africans. I mean, so they want us to believe that this is not colonization. So the same white people they said they ran away from, look who they are inviting to the inauguration. I mean, they brought the African chiefs, but they brought them to, let them know, hey, we're still loyal to you guys, to carry this on. And then they would put some little medal on them. Isn't that what the white people did in these colonies? Even over there in my country, in Gambia. That's right. Like, I mean, somebody's like during colonial times, like some of the people would talk about this and they would be so proud of their colonial medal that they received. Okay? But it was given to them by the colonial master. So unless someone tells me colonialism, it's about color. It's about color, then we can move on. I mean, I do know that the United States was once colonized by, England. Even England was colonized by the Romans. But why are they trying to whitewash these other colonization here? So let's continue. I hope you guys are enjoying this program here.
Sunset, the city was treated to a lavish display of fireworks, which lit the sky, the city, and the sea.
So you seen what the so isn't this the same thing that the white colonizers were doing during the celebrations, the fireworks, flying up in the air? So they are just doing the 4th of July on the Africans. I mean, flexing on Africans, just blowing the air up. So guys, if you haven't already hit the like, make sure you do that. Don't forget. It's just, I mean, I know you are enjoying the show, but you can just slide down a bit and hit the like. But yeah, you see the difference here. This is what was happening in the other places called colonies. This is like South Africa.
On this day, in the Centennial Pavilion, the government of the Republic pays homage.
Did you guys see that? They said Pioneers Day. So it's like the pioneers that came to America. Did you guys know the people who came, quote unquote, discovering America? They are called the pioneers, the people who started it. So they are the pioneers here. So watch, they are about to give dedication to the people who worked hard.
To the founders of its nation, to its men and women of its native land, and to those from other lands who, in the tradition of the pioneer, have made signal contributions toward the growth and to the well-being of Liberia. On this day, the President awards to those who have served Liberia with distinction a most solemn recognition of their...
So the President is about to recognize those who served Liberia in distinction. So I want you to take a look at those who serve Liberia, okay? Because, FBA said they want to work with Africans, but the Africans are the ones that want to hate on them, But now you will see here why The only way FBA and Africans will work is if Africans allow FBA to be the colonizers. And that, that wouldn't work. But watch.
Service. Membership in the honorary orders of the Republic. One by one, the president calls their names. They come forward, and on their shoulders, he places...
See, back then it's, it's white people serving Liberia. I mean, are you guys seeing something here? How can you tell me it's not a colony? Look at all the people that are receiving, the honor, the distinction for serving, the colony, the Liberian colony. Are you seeing their skin color? Do you see one single African there? Well, they would come to the Africans, but you would hear what they are being, the type of medal they are receiving. These other ones are receiving medals for serving Liberia. But here we go.
This is the great sashes of the orders, and upon their breasts, the medallions which bear their symbol. Citizens of other...
86, you said, where's the natives? Oh, they're cooking in the kitchen and, washing the plates and stuff like that. But, they will come forward, at some point, to come and show Massa that they are still with Massa. You'll see.
Countries who have worked side by side with the peoples of Liberia in mutual endeavor.
You guys seeing this? So like sometimes do you wonder if some of even the stories they tell you how white people mistreated the blacks? Now, aren't you starting to have doubts? I mean, look at it. They said they ran away to Africa. They built their own home, but they're flexing on the natives. Look at who they invited. The white man. Are you guys seeing it? So let's keep going.
High officers of the Liberian government, among them persons whose work for Liberia was accomplished within hailing distance of where they now stand. Some whose duties have taken them twice and then again around the globe.
So are you guys seeing it's, definitely they are, you at this point, that they are colonizers, right? Because I can show you the same videos of the colonizers in Nigeria. And I bet you the Nigerian colonizers, some of them were probably at this venue right here, invited. But did you see any of the other African people there? This is 1956. Now, we were in what they call the nigger quarters. That's right. And, they just happened to be, in charge of the Liberia one. They call it settlement. We came back. Like, how did you came back where? You see how they are living, drinking champagne, wine, eating good, giving awards to white people for serving them. But in the meantime, you saw how the natives were living. And I'll show you more of how the natives were living. Look, I'm not here to convince you whether they are colonizers or not, but you got eyes and ears. Unless you've never, you don't know that France and England are colonizers, or the Boers in South Africa. Unless you don't know that they are colonizers, then I would say, okay, in that case, then I can give you a pass. So here we go.
From America to the inauguration come representatives of the New York chapter of the Friends of Liberia, and they too receive recognition.
So, you see, Just listen to all the chapters where their friends are coming from. The New York chapter. You seeing this? So when the Queen of England come, which chapter do they bring? Do you think these people were inviting the people from Ghana or even Sierra Leone? No, they said those people were not civilized. Do you even see the natives here? Wait, you will see the chiefs. And let's see what type of medal the chiefs are going to receive.
Recognition from the president. Ladies of the Republic are also honored. Then the chiefs and paramount chiefs of Liberia, as the president recognizes them for their loyalty to the...
Did you hear this? The chiefs and the paramount chiefs are brought in to be recognized for their loyalty. You notice that? So that means that when you looking, awarding people for loyalty, it means that you have conquered these people. You went to war with them, you conquered them, and now you're just making, giving them little ceremony. This is the same thing, the white people did in all the other territories. So the chiefs, the Liberian chiefs that they conquered, they're just making sure that they're, giving them medals to, to let the president know, yeah, we're still down with, the Black American, you Black American colonizers, yeah, despite you over here, doing your thing, inviting the white masters that you said you ran away from. But, we see you over here, giving them awards, you sitting on the high table, eating, drinking, eating grapes. We see you. And, the blacks themselves, they know that they are the colonizers. So that's why they're giving them these awards to try to say, hey, hey, we're still good, right? We good? All right. Yeah, that's what this award is. We good award. Let's go.
Republic, and for their efforts in bringing about a united Liberia. From far, from near, all devoted, all friends of Liberia.
Hey, do you guys see? You guys see this? So they got, they're cheesing, just like, the blacks themselves when they were in the plantation, when Massa recognized them. This is how they were cheesing. It's like, hey, but now they got their own plantation Negroes. I mean, they got, look at the, the chief is cheesing. This is what conquer looks like. So you can't blame these FBAs anymore. Now, this is on tape, right here, on tape.
And servants of this land of liberty. The president and the vice president with their entourage moved to Pioneers Monument outside of the Centennial Pavilion.
Yeah, you hear that? Pioneers Monument.
The traditional wreath-laying ceremonies. The Guard of Honor fires in salute, and over the hushed morning air, the strains of taps can be heard throughout the city. The ceremony continues as the Honorable Dupini Lee recites these words. For 2 long years we sought a home in vain. Here we found one, and here we will remain.
Yeah, you hear that? Hey, look, you gotta give it to them. They're doing their own thing. They went there, they created their own white, heaven, what they saw. So I'm not here hating on them. I'm just showing you how they were living. They're living good. They created their own America. Their own America. I mean, let's keep watching. You'll be impressed by how organized, they are. These are not, pookies from the ghetto, from the street. So I hope I hope you're watching and seeing.
The investiture ceremony over, the president leaves the pavilion to join the parade that now fills the streets.
You see the flag and the FBA soldiers. Watch how the FBA soldiers display their guns here. And you see, Liberia was well built back then. This is 1956. Yeah, so these are like Masonic people, Freemasons. The way they are dressed, yeah, I think these are Freemasons. Hey, you gotta give it to them. The FBS, they are very well organized to be. I mean, you gotta give it to them. They got their army set up. They're marching right. So yeah, just like the colonizers were. I mean, the colonizer army have to be very well organized. See, this is what the FBAs want to relieve. They want to be able to get their own territory and live like the white man, because these people have done it before. So, yeah, they colonized the Liberian people. Let's watch the colonizers continue to march. See, they even brought their church ladies all the way from the plantations. See? I mean, this is just like some street in America.
Of the nation, depicting scenes that fill the lore of the early days of the Republic.
This is just like in the movie Birth of a Nation, how the white people were, I mean, the blacks were just living their white life in Liberia.
In parade.
All right. You guys seen that? So, I don't want to keep you guys waiting. Let me bring the panel in, because I want to hear from the panel what they think. Why? I mean, now it's clear to you that, the blacks colonized Liberia. But I want to know, why is it being whitewashed? I want to hear your perspective. And, feel free to also say, no, it's not a colony, and then give your points. It's a conversation. So the link is in the chat. Hit the link. Don't be afraid. Bring your points in. All points are welcome here. And I get it. You know what? Some of you, so there's a guy who, for whatever reason, he is like so upset at me because I said that, oh, the Africans didn't build any ships. If they even build it, where would they need it to go to? And this person is upset at me for saying this. Guys, you need to chill. If you think what I'm saying is not true and you got your proof, just bring it to me. Write it instead of getting upset at me for saying it. So let's bring in Ola and Kedo. Ola and Kedo, welcome to the Afridamus Report.
Thanks for what.
Thank you, Afridamus.
All right. Ola, so did you see the documentaries that I've just shown here?
Yeah.
And, Ola, there's always been this, some people try to bring arguments, and start saying, no, Liberia was not colonized, and they bring their own feelings. So what I did, I brought this documentary all the way from 1949. You've seen that, right? So back then, it wasn't this woke thing. They were showing everything. So Ola, are you shocked to see that in 1956, they didn't invite any African from another country to their independence, even though they only brought white people? Are you shocked by this?
Afridamus, I'm not shocked. You have to understand these Black Americans that came at that time never see the Africans they met in that place as one. They never recognize them. Forget about what they say now. Oh, when they see any black person, they say B1 or B2. At that time, it never actually existed. And if you listen to this modern, I call them modern ones now, you will see that sometimes the statement that some of them are saying that they far more, it's kind of like they kind of civilized more than the other Africans. I'm not talking about the Liberians blacks now, but I'm talking about generally the Africans, both their neighboring countries and the far neighboring countries. You understand?
So Ola, from what I've shown, you would say Liberia have been, it was colonized fully, just like even far more than neighboring countries.
Liberia was a full control under the Black Americans, supported by their white chiefs, by the white big ships.
And did you see the in the independence, Ola? Who did you see they are giving medals to?
They were giving it amongst themselves. You understand me?
And are you shocked to see that they said they're getting away from the white man, but it is white people who
yes, yeah. If you check that presidential inauguration, you will see that the people that were there, these are white Americans, and almost white people, almost white.
Yes, like the Motisa tribe.
So these are the people that were actually really Liberia. So the other Africans that met there, you will see how those Africans were building houses in a day.
Yeah.
You see a man and the children living peacefully, right? They were doing their normal things and everything. They are far more different from these ones that came and started ruling them or started having authority.
And Ola, do you see how the FBAs, they do their celebrations like it's just like the America, fireworks, firing guns. Did I show you guys the part where they're firing the guns?
I saw the party, the people that came there were like almost white people. And that would tell you that the mindset they came to when Samuel Doe took over from them and take over the country, you see that mindset they have. They will say, oh, you put destroyed, you put uncivilized. You understand me? And one thing we should know here is that those that cry that the white people against them, they love so much the black people, just forget it. They don't love the Africans. They never even love the Africans. Even this modern
Ola, they brought civilization to Liberia.
They brought civilization to themselves.
That's what they say.
Not to the really. Yeah, but not to the look. They were looking for a place that they would colonize and own slaves. You could see that the natives, you could see the natives, they were just living their own life. Don't be surprised, they were also using this native like the way they themselves who own. You see, these are slave owners. These are black slave owners in the United States. You understand me? But they never want to talk about their own slave that they own. They will talk about, oh, the white people own slave, the white people slavers. But if you have to check it very deep, the history that they're not really talking about is the black slave owners that in the United States, that they were also enslaving the black people also. You understand me? So this so-called that's what sometimes the white people look at them and laugh. As you want me to pay you reparation? Why don't you talk about unskilled people that are look like you, that will also slaving you, also owns you, also use it for what kind of thing they want to use? How did they know how to use this black native? Why did they discriminate against the apartheid against them? It's because they have already learned it, and it's already in their mindset already, because they have already participated in this game also. You understand?
And you know what, Ola? Let me show you. Let me show everybody here this in this documentary in 1949. You know, you see the Liberian people, they were still doing their own thing. You know, the blacks that say, oh, America didn't support them. Let's hear 1 minute of this video if America helped them or not.
Dried minnows, hand-carved ivory, and the golden leopard pelt. Displays at the native market are skillfully arranged to present such typical native products as...
You see, there's difference. They call the Liberian people the natives. No, the blacks are the Liberians because they gave the name. So these people there, the tribes, are called the natives. So I want you to understand that.
Cloth, home woven of wool or cotton, and used for clothing, bedding, and draperies. Next door to this market is the U.S. Trading Company, operated by Firestone to supply American-made products and brands at...
You hear that? U.S. Trading. Everything is U.S.
prices well below United States averages. Liberia is a land of contrast. Only a few miles from the native market is a scene as modern as tomorrow. A mighty airliner is landing at Roberts Field. Built by Firestone during World War II, this is one of the largest, most strategic land plane bases in the world. It is within 30 flight hours of New York.
So, yeah, all beneficiary of the United States. So, but go ahead, Ola.
So, as I was saying, you could see that even to this modern day, even to during the time of the Civil War, during the 90s, and to the early 2000s, before Charles Taylor ran away, or before Obasanjo rescued him out of Liberia, that they were still knocking at the embassy of the United States to help them, you understand me, to knock the native that wanted to take power over. They run to the women, the American Liberia, which is the Black Americans, women, run to Ghana to negotiate, because they were very scared of the native military. The soldiers of the native were coming at that time. They would say they will launch nakedness. They will say asking the American embassy to help them.
And you know, in 1931, I forgot to mention that too. That time, this Liberia, in fact, was investigated because they were enslaving the natives there.
Yes,
you know, they were investigated for that.
You have to understand, even when somebody came to power, if you check when somebody came to power, even early 80s, when Doe was in power, what did they do? Ronald Reagan invited Doe for questioning, right? To see, because he's not American Liberia, will never be loyal to them, to see where did Samodo stand. You understand me? They are forced, they tolerated him for a while until they're able to form this dude for nowhere, you know, Charles Taylor, who is American Liberia, came for nowhere, was heavily armed. Heavily armed. Who armed him? How did they get those arms? Then started causing trouble in Liberia. And it was very ruthless. It was a very ruthless dude when he came to power, when he came from somewhere. You understand me? Oh, they say, oh, he escaped from prison. That dude never escaped from nowhere. They trained him. They armed him because Doe was never really their people.
Right.
So, you understand? Doe was never really their people. Their real people is the one that overthrew. So Reagan and the Bushes never really loved him. You understand? Because he was never really a kid that belonged to them, which is the Black Americans. You understand me?
Yeah.
Until
And you know, Ola, Louis is asking, why didn't they invite Marcus Garvey? Louis, Marcus Garvey was banned from coming to Liberia. The
because
Liberian government, you can see this. Marcus Garvey wasn't allowed.
because
Those
when they
blacks,
banned it,
Marcus Garvey was not allowed to come to Liberia.
it was banned in Liberia because they banned him in the United States. You understand me? Because they banned out in the United States, Liberia also automatically banned him over also. So Liberia was not really having that communication because sometimes, oh, they were so very nice with the neighbor. They
No,
said
well,
about
Garvey wrote to go there. They told Garvey, they said Garvey is not welcome in Liberia.
It will never be there because you have to say the big warship was always in the coast of Liberia. These Negroes that were ruling Liberia, they were never actually on their own. They will always have a backup. Is it the backup of who formed Prince Yemi Johnson? Who created Yemi Johnson when Charles Taylor was they think Charles Taylor cannot finish the job? How did Yemi Johnson came to being? Why is it the ECOMOG supported Samuel Doe, but not really this? Because they already know the job police already playing at that time. You understand me? That's why when this tale of a dude you see now was very ruthless to the Nigerians and to other West Africans that came there. Because they never see this West Africa ECOMOG as countries who come to protect. Rather, they were looking for the help of the United States to always support them. You understand me? So this one they want to flip the coin. Even to the last day Chancellor left, the American Liberians were still looking for the help of the United States. Until a kid be a kid. You have to say the kid that command the native Africans to take over Morovia was kid that one of them was a mixed blood. You understand me? Who said enough is enough? When they crossed that water and were already in the mouth of Morovia, this American Liberia was still knocking the American embassy to come and supply the weapon or even help them. Even they even invited some of these natives to say, let's talk. The natives said, no, we want Chancellor to go. That's why they invite Obasanjo to tell Chancellor. They didn't understand they cannot save his eyes anymore. The American Liberian women who went to Ghana to be protesting that they need Chancellor to leave because these natives said, if Chancellor just leave, that what this American Liberians do to them, they're going to retaliate. You understand me? It was never that the women went there for really peace. They went there to save their life. You understand? And the life of their children because they know this native actually they were coming to revenge the atrocity that the American Liberians committed against them. You understand me? And that was the whole thing. We never really that they love these native people because if you check some of their people.
So all are you saying it's a colony?
Yes, yeah, it's a colony. They came there to really enslave this native, apartheid them, and deal with them, bury them alive. If you would check, even the ones that left 19something, the American Liberians that left this, they will say that this uncivilized, they will use even the uncivilized against Ghana,
right,
against Nigeria. But they use these words a lot. That they say they are more civilized than all these uncivilized neighboring countries like Ghana or Nigeria or any other place. That's what they use. And that is their mindset is fixed on. That's when I saw Carla started to I said, Carla, be very careful. We have to preach peace. Because if you have to come with that superior mindset that never really exists and never do nothing, then you're going to create more trouble in a country that how can 3% be ruling
exactly.
97%?
Let's bring in Kato. Kato, welcome to the Afridamus Report.
Yes, thanks for welcoming me again.
Yes, Kato, you've seen the documentaries and the analysis. What is your take on all this? I mean, you're a Liberian, so we want to hear your point of view.
All right. So the last time I was on the show, and what I said was the biggest, there's the biggest thing, the one of the most evil thing that America could have done to Africa was to send people with a slave mindset to come and rule over people that have master mindset.
So hold on,
First of all,
hold on, Kedo. Let me ask you this. So Kedo, in
yeah,
Liberia, in Liberian school,
yeah,
what, for example, like when I was like, I learned that the British colonized us. Obviously, when I was like there was no colonization by the time I was born, right? But I learned
yes.
it in school. So, they are honest about it that the British colonized us. So, for you guys in Liberia, what do they teach you guys? Do they say the Black Americans colonized you guys? Or what do they teach you
All right,
guys?
let me tell you what it teaches us in Liberia. Just how America is tricky with answering questions, just how they don't come direct. That's like America's free slaves are, they have some of their masters traits. Yeah, actually. When you read the history of Liberia, the book, you will see that they will say Liberia is the only country in Africa that was not colonized. But then
Right.
they will also use other statements saying that the American colonization society came and formed a nation. And when I say form a nation, they came and attacked us and created a colony for their free slaves and sent their free slaves as
But
colony.
Kedo,
One of them name is
Kedo,
Yehudi
Kedo, you
Ashmon.
saw
Yeah.
Kedo, you saw the documentary I showed, from the Firestone from 1949, right?
Yes, I saw it.
And it said they are called, these people came, they colonized the place, and created a place for them and their people. So this was in 1949, and nobody came out to dispute
You
it,
know,
right?
yeah. So, to be honest, among all of the people that were taken from Africa and carried to the diaspora, it is I love the Caribbeans. I love those that live in South America, those that live in the central into the east like India. But Black Americans, we have to be very careful with them because a lot of them took their master's ways. A lot of them have, like a lot of them are. For me, like sometimes people like to refer to their masters in America. Some Liberians like to refer to the white people as Satan's children. Then they like to refer to the evil Black Americans as Satan's slave children. So, like Satan's slave children, like they were doing the will of their masters because their master. What if you even go to or if you follow a technical history from white people themselves, not from those free slaves that came and lied. The white people themselves would make you to understand that. I watched a documentary. They said that the Americans, they said to themselves they don't want, because they don't want those their free slaves to mix. I was saying something the last time here, but I think
To mix with the
Kala cut me off.
natives,
No, they don't want their free slave to mix with their white children in America. Are you
right?
are, you- are you getting me? Yes.
Yeah.
So I was saying something the last time, but Kala cut me off. What I was saying is these people, they are still slaves for white people, but the only thing is just like they are just made them free. That's all. So that's why I still use the word free slaves, because they are still owned. One of the things that make it to be owned is when you still have your master's name. They still have their master's name. Even their mentality is still slave mentality.
So
So they
Kedo,
are still,
Kedo, did
yes.
so in Liberia, did they introduce, because the blacks came with their master's name? So so that means it's even worse for the Liberian natives who got colonized. Imagine taking the
Up to
master's
now,
name.
they used
Like,
to bluff with their they been bluffing with their master name. They act like
do they know
they
that
can.
do they know it's the slave master's last name?
Whether they know, and we know some of that. But at that time, most of these people, they deliberately never educated the people so that they can, this people cannot rise up against that evil regime. But when the
So
people got educated, they rise up against it.
Kedo, how does it feel to see the 1956 the chief cheesing to to show their loyalty to the colonizer?
It just shows to me that it just shows to me who they really are and what was their and what is their mission.
But can you blame them? That was 1956. That means those chiefs were, because these people came in 1822. So that's years later. So it's just like the same theory I was saying. They were born in it.
So they came, it just make you to understand. That's why I say who they are and their mentality when it came. Because even what their masters never, like imagine the people that you consider that you came from. You waited that long to allow them to vote, to become citizens to vote. It just shows that, like the king with that pride, yeah, with that pride. And in Liberia up to now, they they have that foolish pride, but some of us will tell them that they are fake. They like to act like they are too civilized. Like the last time I had an encounter, she started calling herself Congo lady, and she told a guy that the guy is country. He's not civilized. So what I told her. I look at her for long. I look at her hair and I look at the clothes that she was wearing. I call her an advanced, uncivilized woman. That lady got angry just like her eyes wanted to jump out of her head. I told her, I say, I told her, I say, you look just like the ghetto people in America. I say, the only difference is you're just living in a more advanced society developed
Oh
than
man,
Liberia. But the people that are here, I think the person,
I don't know what's
I
wrong with
look at the guy.
I don't know what's wrong with your.
Are you hearing me now? Are you hearing me
Yes,
now?
yes, I can
Are you
hear
hearing
you.
me now?
Yes,
Yeah, I said, are you getting me?
yes, I can
Are you
hear you.
getting me?
Go
That
ahead.
Bushmeat, that's that
Yes,
Bushmeat mobile.
I said I met American Liberian lady who insulted another guy in Liberia and called him country. So and she started to call herself Congo. So I
yes.
told her that she's an advanced, uncivilized woman. And I also told her that she's fake. I told her that
Oh
she's
yeah,
fake.
because she's trying to show superiority. So the blacks there, they have
I'm
white
coming, Carla. Wait,
supremacy
wait, wait, wait.
complex.
I'm coming. Afro Diamonds, I'm coming. Just wait. The thing is, let me tell you how you engage a fool. When you meet a
Pause.
fool,
Pause.
when a fool insult you or disrespect you, do not try to make sense of a fool because you will just be you. Then you are trying to put yourself in the class of that fool because there are fools that think high of themselves. So when a fool insults you and tell you that they are more than you, and you know that you are more than that fool, and that fool knows that you are more than them, just leave that fool. Let that fool go ahead and be blabbing and doing stupidity.
All right, thank you. Let's bring in Carla. Carla Rumble, welcome to the
What's
Afridamus
going
Report.
on?
Carla, Carla, we've heard some people you've been accused of saying that, the blacks who came, they united, they didn't colonize Liberia.
Let
You
me
got hold on,
Epidemic.
saying also it's
Epidemic.
saying you're getting away from the whites,
Hold
but
up, Epidemic.
we're
With all,
seeing
hold up.
we're
With all due
seeing
respect, with all due respect, brother,
yeah.
it's a platform, so I don't want to disrespect you like that. I want to be respectful tonight because it's a serious topic dear to me. You're talking about my country. Um, do you understand what the word colonize means? That's the first
Yeah,
thing we got to look at. Okay, give me your definition of a colony.
when a colony, just like for example, the British, they came to Gambia, right?
Okay, hold,
So
stop you. Let me stop you right there. The British, what were they backed by?
what do you mean? What they backed by?
Okay, a colony is an extension of
Well,
a mother country.
hold on. No.
No, yes, it is.
Hold on.
So in other words, you got your own definition. Hey,
Hold on. The American Colonization Society.
Epidemics. You're supposed to be a professor
Hold
here,
on,
and I'm trying
hold on.
to
Let me
educate a
bring you.
professor here. I'm trying to
Let me
tell
bring
you,
you the
hey,
facts.
you don't know what you're talking about. Let me
No,
tell you,
no, no, no.
explain to you. Let me explain to you. Let me explain to you, right? When you say a colony, right? Now,
Kala.
American colonization society was just a term. They were not a government entity. They had no political or geopolitical power. So they were not a colony. A
Kala.
colony,
Kala, you don't have to be bad.
hold on, Aphrodite, right? A
Okay, let me show
colony
you.
was a colony was Sierra Leone.
No, here, let me
That
let
was
me
a
let me
British
let, hold
possession.
on. Let's look at the meaning
Yeah,
here,
look up the meaning.
right here. Colonization, the action or process of settling among and establishing control over indigenous people of an area.
That is not
No,
the yo.
No,
Where did that come
that's
from?
what it is.
Where did that come from?
That's
you are
look.
you are
That's
studying.
Is that Boo Boo the Fool's definition? That's not. You made that up. That's not what the colonization means.
well, we just saw it.
No,
Everyone,
that
Well,
I don't. You don't know where you got that from.
Avodamus,
Where'd you get that from?
Avodamus. Can I explain to
Where'd you
you?
get that
Can I
from?
explain to you what is
so
a colony?
yeah, go ahead.
A colony, from time to time, there is no other explanation that you can give to me or anybody about how people form colony. Everywhere from the beginning of time, colony was formed by group of settlers coming from
Yeah,
another
but they're
place,
backed by a
bringing
power.
coming from another place and bringing the culture and language of that
Okay, let
place
me ask you. Let me
and
ask both of
establishing a
you.
nation with that language and
Let me
culture.
ask
That
both
is
of
a
you
colony.
genius a question, right? Colony is also
So, Carla, are
centered
you
around.
denying that
Hold on. Let me say.
Liberia wasn't colonized?
Let me say this. Colony is centered around the extraction of resources from an area under a mercantile system. Can you tell me the
Really?
mercantile system Liberia was under?
What's your education
Hold on, that's what I
background?
said.
Like,
This is what I said.
what's your educational level?
I understand. I
What's your
understand you guys.
educational level?
I understand you guys got an African
What's your
education. You
educational
don't
level,
know.
Carla?
Hold on.
What's your
I'm
educational
very
level?
highly educated. Yo, look, hold up.
What? No,
Do you
but tell
understand?
me
Hold
what's
up.
your educational
K.
level,
Yo, K. Do you understand what mercantilism is?
Carla?
Hold
Carla,
on. Hold
look,
up. Do you understand what mercantilism is? When the mother
the
country, the
the
colony can
first
only
thing you said.
trade
Do you know
with the
what made me
mother
to ask you
country,
that
right?
question?
Show
Do,
me, yo,
do,
look, check this out. Show me
do you know what made me
where
to
the
ask you that question?
United States had no relationship politically,
Carla,
economically with
Carla,
Liberia.
Carla. King
Carla.
Leopold. King
So what
Leopold,
is
when he
Firestone?
colonized the
So Carla, what is
Congo.
Firestone?
No,
If you never had any
Leopold,
relationship
hold on,
economically, what is
colonized
Firestone?
hold
the
on,
Congo, yes.
hold on,
King
hold on,
Leopold, as the
hold on,
sent his
hold on,
army and colonized the Congo. The
Carla,
United States did not send
Carla,
troops to colonize Liberia.
Carla, you don't need that. I just showed you the
Oh
definition of
yeah,
what
you
it
just told me
is.
whatever. That's a BS
It's from
definition.
the dictionary. Let me show
That ain't
you
no for no
again.
dictionary. What dictionary?
It's from the
No, give me the source.
Dictionary.
Give me the source. Okay, I'm gonna
It's
look it up
the
myself.
yeah,
Oxford
it's the
Dictionary.
Oxford
Because
Dictionary.
you got a lot of uneducated people
No,
listening.
look it up in the
You got. Hold
Oxford
on,
Dictionary.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
I just showed you.
You got a lot of
Here,
misinformed,
yeah,
uneducated people listening. And
I
whatnot,
just showed
so
it.
the bottom line is this:
Here. Let me show
hold on,
Carla.
you know anybody? Hold on, anybody
You
could
see
get on
right
those
there?
things and put their
You
own
see right
definition up
there?
there. Yeah, hold on, yeah, but who put it up there? Where's the source?
Oh, okay. Here we go. Okay,
No,
so
where's the
Carla.
source? Where's the citation?
Okay, Carla.
Oh, where's the
Everybody,
no? Show
hold on.
show me the citation.
Oh, jeez. So are you
No, so
saying
that's
you?
what I said. This is what happens
Okay,
when
Carla.
you get your
Carla.
education online
Carla.
and you
Okay,
never been to a school before.
Wait, Carla. We want to hear your point of view.
Carla,
Tell
where
us,
do you even get your definition
I am
from?
not
Where
gonna
do you
let
get
you
your
off for that.
definition from, Carla?
You
Carla.
just gave a definition
Carla.
that did not have a factual thing, and you cited no sources or no peer-reviewed
So
studies.
hold on. Let me ask you this.
So what's the source of your definition, Carla?
Hold on, Princip. So Carla, your argument is Liberia was not colonized. Is that what you're
No,
saying?
I'm saying, hold on, if you can you give me a second to answer that, right?
No, I mean just
I'm saying,
answer it. That's all. That's
In
all
the
I'm
sense,
interested in.
in the sense of this, okay. If you want to look at it like that, was Biafra colonized by the Igbos?
No. I'm asking
Oh
about
no,
Liberia.
seriously.
I'm asking about Liberia.
Hold on.
Look,
Was Lagos colonized by the Yoruba?
wait, what?
No, you know what I'm talking about. Ask
The
Pinola.
Lagos is Yoruba.
Yoruba not indigenous to Lagos.
Lagos is Yoruba land. What
No,
are
it's
you
not
talking?
Yoruba land. No, it's
Yes, it
not.
is.
Lagos was
Lagos
founded by the
belong.
Portuguese.
Hold on.
It means
Lagos.
lake.
Look,
The Yoruba
Carla,
migrated there, just like everybody else.
Carla, don't deviate. Lagos is part
No,
of
it's not.
Yoruba
You don't
land.
see. Let's
You
say
don't
you
know
don't even know your own
Nigerian
history.
history. Let's not.
You don't even know your own history. What are you
Okay,
talking about?
let's just stick with.
No. You
Look,
asked the definition. Now
no.
I'm roasting you right now because you don't know. I'm showing the
So
audience
you
you
can
don't know what you're
hold
talking
on,
about.
hold on,
You are
hold on.
uneducated. You don't know history. You're more about the nonsense. So you work with the wrong one. You're talking to Thanos right now.
So okay, Carla, answer my question. From your definition, from what we've shown, from the Firestone, other smart people, are you saying what we're presenting was Liberia colonized or not? That's all I'm asking. Are you there? Carla, we can hear you. Go ahead and speak. Okay, I don't know what happened to Carla. Let's bring in Princip. Princip, welcome to the Afridamus Report. Princip, can you hear me?
Afridamus, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what happened to these guys.
Yeah,
Princip,
maybe having connection problem.
I think Carla. I think Carla.
Before you bring
Afridamus, can you hear me?
before you bring Princip, I want to say something. Just 1 second, please.
Yeah, go ahead.
Last night I called him Mr. Kala because he's an elder, but now I will just call him Kala because he's an old fool. Yes, honestly, he's an old fool. So I don't think he deserves. I don't think he deserves respect. He's an old fool.
No, I mean, we can agree to disagree. I mean, let him just explain.
Afridamus, you see, Kala and the other ones that try to
Can you hear me?
whitewash, that want to whitewash the Liberia atrocity, the Black American atrocity in Liberia, and make it look like a saint. You understand me? I've never seen where people who always preach their victim
Kidola, let me ask you a question. How many native Liberians were killed in Liberia by our so-called side?
We are not native Liberians. Hey, Carla, we are not native Liberians. We are not native Liberians. Show respect to us.
Liberians were killed by who?
Liberian African. Call us Liberian African. Don't call us native Liberian. We have conquered. We are no longer having servant status in Liberia again to be called native. We have conquered you now. So we are African in Liberia now. So we are not indigenous or native.
Up into the 20th century, these guys were still raiding villages and kidnapping girls.
You lie, Carla. You lie.
That is the truth.
That's a propaganda, Carla.
That is the truth. That is the truth. They were doing that, you know.
You people are trying to spread propaganda that never ran. I'm not
still practicing.
He want to behave like his master.
They still.
He want to behave like his master.
Hold up. They still practice cannibalism and human
Carla,
sacrifice.
It's lie.
It's the truth, man. What are you talking about?
Carla, look.
Everybody's seen it on the thing.
Was a cannibal.
Human sacrifice.
Charles Taylor was a cannibal.
You know. Don't
Charles Taylor was a. Wait. Hold on. Wait. Mr. Kidola. Hello.
You guys are getting.
You know what? I want you to ask Carla whether Charles Taylor was not a cannibal.
No, it was Samuel Doe that was a cannibal. He ate.
Charles Taylor was a very big cannibal. Charles Taylor was a big cannibal.
Samuel Doe. There's blood on the wall of the mansion. Samuel Doe ate some of his political opponents.
Carla, let me tell you this, Carla.
Samuel Doe ate Cleopatra.
Charles Taylor was a nasty cannibal more than Samuel Doe. Charles Taylor was a nasty cannibal more than Samuel Doe.
Yo, they always want to pick and choose. That's what you think about Liberians. They're such liars.
You people have
they want to cherry pick history and whatnot, ignore everything else. Samuel Doe was eating.
I got you, Carla, but without finding with Black Americans,
Samuel Doe was eating.
Carla, you older, Carla. What you people do without finding with Black Americans, you people call selective vitamins.
No. I'm telling you the whole thing. Don't sit here trying to say Charles Taylor. Because you're like Charles Taylor. They were all a bunch of freaking savages.
Carla, wait.
But they're all a bunch of savages, man. So the bottom line is this. When I go to Liberia, the same natives you talk about, I fight for them more than anybody else.
You didn't fight for nothing, Carla. You're just a spy.
Because the native Liberians over there, they don't give a damn about the native Liberians of the native Liberians.
Carla,
they don't give it up. So kiddo, shut the hell up with that shit.
That propaganda, that old propaganda
the average native Liberian, when he gets a little money, he does not give a shit about his country. His people.
Really?
How do you know, Carla?
You know, Carla is just trying to make himself feel fine.
You forget my wife is Liberian.
Carla is trying to make himself feel fine. So
you want to hear? Look, I talk to Liberians every day. You want to hear what they really got to say? Not this clown on the line right here. What they really say? You know. What they really think, these Liberians that be trolling the internet are nothing like the Liberians on the ground know that these people here that's trying to run the country, that destroy, they know these who destroyed this country over the last 45 years. Liberia had no progress in 45 years because thanks to the native man, you know?
Wait,
Kala,
Afrodamus, please, I want to talk, but when he try to talk over me, please mute him. I want to explain some things. Yes, Carla, you have to give me a chance to talk. Yes? Okay. So Carla is talking about the so-called, he's calling us native, even though we know the definition of a native or indigenous is you are of the land,
You're a
but you are
native.
not,
You're a
you are not
native.
of the
You're a
nation.
native.
I'm coming.
Oh, you're a
Wait,
native
shut
African.
your
You're a
mouth.
native
Shut your mouth
African.
when I'm talking. Shut your mouth when I'm talking.
What are you getting mad for? Goddamn.
I said, shut your mouth.
I just called you a native
Shut your
African.
mouth when I'm talking. Give me a chance to talk. You are very
You're a
noisy. Shut your
native. I'm
mouth.
not. I'm not a native. I get it, you know?
I know, but have it quiet
Okay,
when I'm
yeah,
talking.
all right,
Do not
I'm back.
disturb me.
What's going on?
Please tell Carla
Well,
to have it quiet.
All right, guys, hold on. I got a super chat. Let me read my super
I
chat.
was just calling my
Hold on,
friend
guys.
here,
Hold on,
native.
hold on. Let me read my super chat here real quick. Supergirl, thank you for the super chat. Said, we cannot hear or understand anything with the two Liberians on panel bickering like little girls. All right, thank you, Supergirl, for the super
It
chat.
is
You
because
guys
of
hear
Carla.
this?
It's because of
So,
Carla. He don't want to give me a chance to talk.
hold on, guys. Hold on, guys. One at a time. People, see, you have to understand. People are trying to hear all of us one at a time. You know, I know you guys want to respond to each other, but give one another the chance to respond. Okay? So, okay, Kedo, say what you gotta say, then we go to Carla.
All right, thank you. So I said, Carla called me a native. Even or he called us a native, even though you know the definition of a native is you are of the land, but the nation that is on the land is not for you, or you are not of that nation. You are a servant in that nation. That is the definition of a natives. We were like that before Samuel Doe conquered them. Since we have conquered them now, we are now ruling the country now. We have our status have elevated. We are no longer natives. We
Oh
are
boy, that's
now
funny.
we
That's
are no
hilarious.
longer natives. We are no longer natives.
That's true. That's
So
funny.
no, but am I lying?
No,
Tell
you're
me if I'm
still
lying.
natives. You're still natives. When I go to Liberia, I get to live the glory days. You know, nothing's changed, bro. Nothing's changed.
Nothing's changed
Bro. I don't
where?
care. I don't care. Yo, you
Nothing
got a
changed
government
where?
that's weak. You got a government with a GDP of less, budget of less than $1 billion, man. You ain't got no real power, bro. Stop it. Stop lying to
All right.
yourself.
So
You
so
know.
when you were in power, did you have? Oh, so when you guys were in power, what was the GDP?
Well, it was compared to what it is right now. Liberia had the highest growth rate in the world. You know that, right?
But it was
Liberia's
among
standard of living,
it was among
Liberia's
the
standard of
poorest
living,
country in the world, right?
hold on, Liberia's standard of living was near Mexico and Japan, right? It had the lowest
Ah, that's a
crime rate in
lie.
the
That's
world,
a
you
big
know?
fat lie.
They say, it is the truth. They don't like going like this. And also,
No, 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 no.
if I can talk for a second, Afrodon, I want to address
Yeah,
something you
guys,
said.
No,
one mic
I
at a
was still
time,
on floor.
please.
I was still.
Kedo,
I want to
Kedo,
address
Can you
something
hear
you
me?
Kedo.
said.
Can you hear me?
I want to address something you said. I want to address something you said. You
No,
talked
no.
about the
I was the
1931.
one. I was the one talking. Give me a chance to talk.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Now I gotta say what I gotta say. Go ahead.
All right.
So Kedo,
So
Kedo, what you are saying is,
Afrodamus,
yes, hold on,
when I'm
hold on,
talking, there
Kedo.
are some things I want to talk, but when you ask me questions, sometimes I will not talk the things I want to talk.
Okay, go ahead. Say what you gotta say.
Yes. So so after that, we have established our status now in the nation. But I know there is still an ongoing war between they and us. There's still an ongoing war, yes, between they and us. It is that some of the wars are secret, right? And he was talking about having high growth. Liberia had a high growth where we were among the poorest country in the world when it comes to economic development. It happened. There was a particular theory in it before that called growth without development. I think Liberia was the first country in the world that the white people observed that from. It was such a shameful thing when they came and they saw the nation. Majority of the nation was underdeveloped, and they noticed that the wealth and the money of the nation was just shared among few group of people. We call them few group of them, about few group of elites, but I'll call it kleptocracy. The money was shared among few group of thieves. Yes, because the meaning of kleptocracy is government run by few thieves.
You say
So
thieves.
that
You
was
say
that.
you say thieves or
So
thieves. What is that?
I said thieves. Thieves.
Thieves,
Thieves.
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 Yeah.
Say
Thieves.
thieves
Thieves.
called
That's what
in
thieves.
English we say thieves,
I
bro.
said thieves. I said thieves. I said thieves.
You said thieves.
I said thieves. No,
You
thieves.
said
Thieves.
thieves.
Okay, guys, let's move on.
Can I say something real
So
fast?
Hold on. Let him finish. Let him finish. So
yeah.
because we don't
So
want people to interrupt each other.
yeah. So they were doing that for a while, and after that, they had that government system set up, and but they were, but the people in the nation, they were still, like they had a very big caste system, and he's bragging, all he's doing is bragging. But when you go and check Liberia history, you get to know that, like, the American Liberians being sent as all, I mean, they use their true
There
identity.
were never a people
America's
called American
America's
Liberia.
free slaves,
But they were not
sent
on birth
as
certificate. They were
colonists.
not free slaves.
America's
They were
free
not free. They
slaves.
were not free slaves. That's like you don't even know your own history. There were never
No,
no
no,
free slave was
no.
sent to Liberia,
Carla,
bro.
Carla, give me a chance now. I'm almost done. I'm
Carla,
almost
Carla,
done. I promise you, you
let
will
him
talk.
land. Let him
I
land.
promise you, you
He
will
got to
talk.
get
I
to his
promise you, you
point,
will
man.
talk.
He's babbling.
I promise you, you will
He's
talk. Just
babbling.
wait. I promise you, you will talk. Right?
You're
I promise
babbling.
you, you
Go
will
ahead.
talk. All right. So I said that, there are two things that there are two illusions that Europeans have brought to two group of people. You see, us on the African continent, what they did was, after our people fought for independence, they never gave them true independence. The Europeans said that what they say was, all right, we will give them the freedom that they say they want, but we'll still maintain our colony. So those African countries in Africa now, they became what? Free colonies. But they are not independent yet. They are still their colony. So there is the slave part. The slaves were fighting for freedom, fighting for freedom. They say, all right, send them one freedom. What we'll do is we'll give them freedom, but we'll still maintain them as slaves. So they are still their slaves. One of the way they are slaves is, their names are still on them, and they're still, the white people still control them. They still use them. The interest between they and white people are the relationship between they and those white people are like interest. If they don't do it, the white people make sure they deal with them. Yes, that is how it's like. Even though they have that will to do. Similar relationship between the Amo rabbits and the black slaves that was taken from Africa and sent to Europe to go and fight war. Those black slaves, one day they were even having salaries and all. They even gave them white women, but they were slaves. Yes.
All
So
right.
that is similar
Let's
thing they did with
okay.
the with the
Okay,
with the
Pedro,
free slaves.
let's allow Princip to come in. Princip, welcome to the Afridamus report.
Yeah, how y'all doing, man? I was trying to get in for a while. Pause. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So
I
Princip,
think
Princip, what's your take here? Like the blacks, the blacks colonized Liberia. Like, keep it real. Like, I mean,
yeah,
did they colonize it? I mean, could
I,
they have
I,
done better? I mean, you can
yeah, they could have done
expound,
better. They could have done
but
better.
was it a colony though? I mean,
It's a colony by definition, man. That's the definition of a colony. Is hold on, I had it pulled up. But Kala, I wanted to know Kala's definition where he get his source from. I think he just made that one up.
I
But
know that's why he thought he's coming over here to fight with me. He want to fight with the Oxford Dictionary. I mean, I'm not going to respond to that.
but
Go ahead.
the Oxford Dictionary says that it's basically the action or process of settling among and establishing control over indigenous people of land. So that's the definition, and then the AI would say a process of establishing control over territory and its people, often by foreign power.
Exactly.
Again, even though
You can be
they were
both.
African descent, absolutely, even though they were of African descent, even though they may have wanted the land for themselves, which is like a beautiful idea, they want to return home. A lot of the times the Kala, I think, is listening out on the reality that these guys inherited some of the ideals of the Europeans, which
Not
is not
some.
good,
I mean,
necessarily good or bad.
didn't you see the tape?
Yeah, yeah. But
Are you wait, Princip? Because you always talk about Pan Africanism. So
yeah.
are you like? I want to hear your reaction. Were you shocked to see what you were seeing?
It's shocking, but I heard of the history. But and it's the form of Pan Africanism. A lot of Africans and even Americans don't like. It's like a strict dictation and minimization of the people, which is what Kala. I think Kala is possessed by a spirit of the miracle Liberians, because the guy's not even from that region. You know what I mean? So I think he's possessed. He need an exorcism or something. But he basically is coming through and negating the fact that maybe they have positive premises because even when they arrived, according to some of the history I read, they had treaties among certain tribes. So it was not a necessarily a negative, full-on
Yeah,
negative situation. But these guys
but
seek to
Princess,
push forward
Princess,
past those areas, and they seek
but
to
see,
subjugate other tribes under
Princess,
their. Yeah,
Princess,
I'm sorry.
you know the misconception that most people have today is places that were colonized, they thought like the colonizers just came and then these people went to war, then the colonizer won. That's not how it happens at all. At first, sometimes where conflict ensues, you got to remember it starts peacefully in the beginning.
True.
Yeah.
True.
So someone somewhere there's confusion. It's just like, have you ever bought land in Africa?
For me, no. But in
Oh man.
Haiti, it's like it's very
Okay.
manipulative. Like sometimes
Yes.
they'll give you fake paperwork, and then
Right.
when you finish build up the land, they'll come back and try to take it back, type
All
stuff.
right. Exactly. So you know how like someone like that, like you meet them for the first time before they got your money, everything is good. They're sweet talking you, right? It's cordial. It's nice. They take your
Yeah,
money, and now you want that land. And the person is like, man, look at this guy come from America trying to take my land. It's
yeah.
kind of like that. But go ahead.
No, but just according to some
I'm
documents,
not saying
they
they
had
get money. That's not what I'm saying. But
no. But they had like treaties with certain tribes, but they went further past the established treaty in terms of their governing. Like their governing extended past their like a agreed upon area. I think Kala likes to admit that aspect, and then they also are trying to.
just like they did,
Uh,
so they followed the pattern of the same colonization of here in America. Like the U.S. government used to have treaties with the natives, and they don't honor it. So that's people don't get it. That's where the conflicts always come.
yeah, but why does Kala never acknowledge that aspect? Why you think he never acknowledged that there's some wrong on
He's
the
trying to
American Liberial side
he's trying to
too?
whitewash it because they want to be able to sell victimhood. But how can you sell victimhood if you have whitewashed colonization and saying colonizers are white? But now we're seeing like people that you're claiming of your persuasion are colonizers as well. So it like, what are you, a coconut? Black on the outside, white on the inside? What is it?
I don't know. I think a lot of them they because even Kala when you speak to him, he talk when you talk about the black leadership here, the black caucus here, he'll call them sellouts. He'll say that they don't care about the masses, they shouldn't be followed. But somehow these are the same type of people. When they go over to Liberia, Kala praises them. How's that work? Can you explain? You're back on the panel. Can you explain that, Kala? How do you praise these people but shit on the black caucus that you deem not concerned about the masses of black people, don't have a plan for the masses of black people, don't care about the black masses of black people, and also even claim that they sold out the masses of black people.
Well,
But they're the
I'm
same arch attack.
okay. Well, let me answer Princess's claim. Right? Okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I would be hypocritical like that because I believe the Congressional Black Caucus is useless. I always said that. Right? At the same time, right? Let's put Liberia into context. Right? You talk about a little enclave of Black America. Liberia is nothing but a Black American outpost, right, on the African
For
continent.
massa?
No, it's not a matter because they had no connections with the United States.
No, they did, Carla. I've
Yeah,
just
hold
shown.
on. Listen,
Carla, I've shown proof upon proof.
Aphrodimus. You cannot tell me Liberia. You don't know enough about the country to tell me. I know Liberia. Yeah,
Let,
I
let,
bet
let me show
Adamas
you.
know like more than you.
Liberia was
Adamas,
created. Hold on.
you know
That's what
Liberia
we're
more
Hold
than
doing.
on. Why
Kala.
is this guy interrupting me? Oh, why is he interrupting me? Is it my turn to speak?
Okay,
Sorry. Go ahead.
go ahead, Carla. Hold on. I want to show you the blacks crying because Jimmy Carter didn't spend the night. He's only spend the night in
Adamas, Afrodamus.
Yeah.
Afrodamus. From the way Kala is talking, it looks like you know Liberia history more than Kala.
I know Liberia. Look, I'm just let him just keep talking. Let me show you proof where the blacks are crying over the white massa in Liberia.
Carter, who passed through the country on his trip to Africa. No way to be treated by the mother country.
You see, the president passed through here and went to Nigeria and stayed there for days and came here for a few hours.
See, this is American Liberian, one of the blacks crying over, Jimmy Carter, the white man, only just passing through Liberia but spending days in Nigeria. How dare you stay with those uncivilized native Nigerians?
That's your daughter? You pass by your daughter and go to somebody else's place and stay 2-3 days?
You hear this? They call themselves the daughter of the white man. Hold on.
What they think of us that
one second, hold on, guys. Hold on, let me finish this, then I'll let Ola come in.
And you didn't even lay your head on one pillar in her house? Tell her. We don't like it. And she will change her ways. Thank you.
The top families, known as honorables, number about 40,000 out of Liberia's 1.7 million people. They have names like Carter and Phillips and Dennis. This is a wedding party that the Coopers are giving for the Campbells. There are impossibly complicated cross-connections through intermarriage in these family trees. It ensures that power and money remains in the same hands generation after generation. And the American connection is continually being reinforced. Most young Americo-Liberians are educated in the United States, and they often bring back American brides. That's what...
All right, did you guys hear this? The American connection have always been there. You see, I only work with evidence. Did you guys see this yourself? So they cried and said, why didn't Carter, spend more time there and went to Nigeria? Ola, how do you feel that they are hating on Nigeria?
Before you play this
Okay, can I get in?
Hold on, Carla, hold on. Let him talk. Go ahead.
Before you play this tape, when that woman was crying that their daddy they sleep on the one pillow.
Yeah.
He went straight to Nigeria and spent days. What I just said before this, I said they view the white Americans as their daddy and their master. Right?
Oh yeah, okay.
Hold on.
Daddy master. Why didn't you marry a white woman?
Kala, you can deny us. You want to deny
hold on. Do you ever see
the white man is your grandfather?
Hold on, Carla, let him finish.
Who marries white people more?
Hold on, Carla. There's a difference between me and you when we talk about this topic.
No, I'm dead serious.
Carla, so what I said,
Carla, there's a difference between. Hold on, Carla.
Skin trying to look white.
Hold on, Carla. Ola married the white woman not because of he sees them as their master.
Why should I give him
hold on.
Why should I give him the benefit of the doubt?
Hold on. Ola is he's the man.
Why should I give him
he is the man in his house. But let him land.
Why should I give him the benefit of the doubt? He ain't giving me us the benefit of the doubt.
Okay, let him land.
I know he ain't a coon.
Hold on, Carla, you see that woman will just cry. You saw it yourself.
No, hold on. How you know? Hold on. Same thing you said about you, man.
I was quiet since.
Same thing you said about you.
Hold on, Carla. Let me finish. Carla, you gotta let me talk.
I did not get my chance to talk. I didn't get my chance.
No, Carla, you go after him. You go after him, Carla. Hold on, let him go.
Go ahead, what you guys say? Because I was like,
Carla, relax. I said before Afrodamus played this tape, I said the Liberians. If you meet the people that owns Liberia and the ones that came as a colonizer or apartheid regime,
did they bring white women with them?
You will see the way they speak, and they're different.
But did they bring white women with them?
You can see why Abacha was trying to protect Samuel Doe.
Hold on. Check us out. Did they bring
there's a reason why.
Carla, you can respond when he's finished.
Yeah, you see the reason why. You can see the reason why Abacha was trying to protect Samuel Doe. Why Abacha never wants Samuel Doe to leave the palace, because in the eyes of this Abacha eyes of
Like
some
the
of these
history mix
African
up.
leaders.
Abacha
right?
came to power in about 95. Samuel Doe was already dead. Samuel Doe was already dead. What are you talking about?
Babangida.
Yes, Babangida, right?
So get your facts together.
Then Abacha.
No, it's just a.
Hold on.
Oh, just a
Afrodamos,
little thing like that. Facts
Afrodamos,
mean nothing. I get it.
Afrodamos,
Facts mean
Abacha.
No, well, we corrected it. It's
Hold on.
Babangida.
Abacha took over from Babangida, right?
Yeah, but like
Abacha
a decade and a half later.
Hold on. Abacha was
The
Abacha was the one that actually finished the war. When Thomas Sankara questioned why Babangida, if you want to actually stop this war, why Babangida is not doing much about it. You understand me? Why Babangida delaying it? So when Abacha came to power, Abacha now increased the firepower of the force that the Nigeria should use against Charles Taylor. You understand? Because they think he was committing all kind of shit. But let me put that aside. You can see when I said that woman, you can see that woman was crying. That the daddy did sleep on the one pillow. It was always like this. They were using these people against the people that owns the country. And if you check the way they speak, they will always refer to the owners of that land as uncivilized. I was in one panel when one Liberian old woman came and said that it's a pity that these uncivilized people took over power, that they were far more civilized. You see, and it's good that the owner of the land took over the land. And these so-called people that are very secretive, they're in their mind, say dreaming one day they'll come to power.
Okay, Oli, you made your point. Anything else, man?
Yeah, I finished, Kala. You are not coming back to that power anymore.
Okay, so what I'm trying to say is I want to address something for the last hour I've been trying to say. Okay, about the Fernando poll. Afrodamus read something. He passed in a book. He didn't bother reading it. So let me break it down to you. What happened? The Fernando poll situation, okay, in Liberia. Let me break it down. It was a scandal involving the Kru tribe off the Kru coast, right? Instigated by the Creoles or Kru people of Sierra Leone, acting as
Are you answering the? Is this pertaining to the?
The allegation of slavery. The allegation of slavery in Liberia. Hold on. I'm addressing the lie. I'm first of all, I'm addressing the record. Let me address it.
Ola, you gotta mute. Ola,
listen to what I'm talking about, right? We'll keep interrupting me. You know, that's a good tell you're losing the debate. Okay.
This is not a debate. I mean,
no. I'm just saying.
I'm just trying to find out.
You made a statement that was ill-informed because you're not.
It
really
wasn't. Were they investigated?
You're not really educated on this topic.
Hold on. Were they investigated?
I don't know. You know about Gambia, but you don't know nothing about Liberia.
Hold on. Were they investigated?
But that doesn't mean anything. I could be investigated. I mean,
okay. Yes or no? I can. What if I bring the report?
Hold on.
What if I bring the report
in detail?
Hold on. What if I bring the report?
Work on the report. I did the whole.
Okay, so don't sit here. Hold on. Just answer.
Are you gonna interrupt me? Or are you gonna
you have to focus on the topic. You don't have to
let me state what I'm saying. I'll kindly leave your platform.
Go ahead.
And you guys go like keep telling your own lies. Do you want me to tell you?
No. So are you saying Liberia was colonized?
You can always rebut. Don't try to.
Was Liberia colonized or not?
No. Do you want me to explain this or not?
Explain what?
You know what I'm talking about. Do you want me to explain what actually happened or not?
Kala, just
yes or no?
Well, I'm asking you about whether Liberia is colonized or not.
You don't want to hear the truth. It's just fine. That's fine. No.
I know the information.
You made up your mind.
I read it.
So, Carlo, it was Liberia colonized or not, man? I keep asking that question.
I'm talking about something else he brought up.
Yeah, but he elaborate. Okay, you can bring that up later.
His audience is not educated, so he knows they're not going to read anything like that.
I thought you said I didn't know about Liberia.
You know your audience is mostly stupid, right?
So, Carlo, can I ask you a question there? Why did Kidola have a negative connotation to the word native? He was saying that he's no longer native.
Who
You don't think
killed?
that is associated with how you guys treated them?
Let me finish. Let me finish what I was saying. Right now, when the Christie report came out, right, there was an allegation about Crew tribe people being abused, right, and sold into slavery. This is what happened, right? The labor from the Crew tribe in that area was supplying labor to a place called Fernando Po, now Bioko in Nigeria, on chocolate farm, and also the able contract labor. The Spanish had a monopoly for almost 100 years on this labor going there. In fact, you know, a lot of Crew tribe worked on the Panama Canal. The Crew tribe were always these tribes that were taking on ships and working far away from their home. The Crew chiefs, right, got a head tax for every Crew person out of his village that went there. The government of Liberia at first tried to stop it because it was stabilizing the coast. And then they said what they did was wrong, was they taxed the Crew chiefs on top of what they were making, right? So what happened was there was this whole smear campaign against Liberia. Because remember something right there, at the time, you had King Leopold, you had all stuff going on. They feared Liberia was a threat because like a lot of people who were fighting colonial Africa were saying, if this country can govern itself and they're black people, why can't we? And that was sweeping through the whole continent. So they had to find a way how to discredit Liberia.
That's not what the report
That's
said.
exactly.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me
That's
finish
not
what
what it said.
Hold on. Of course, that's not what it said because you didn't read it.
Kala,
you didn't read the history.
Kala. Okay.
Hold on.
Okay, let me ask you, where did this, first of all, where was Liberia? What country, where was Liberia confronted about this? Let me ask you, hold on.
Afrodamus, no.
Let me ask you, where was Liberia? Where was Liberia confronted?
Hold on. Let's put up books.
Hold on.
You can read R.L. Anderson. He has a full thing.
Hold on.
R.L. Anderson, America, Liberia's Africa Friend. Read that book right there. You don't have any books. You don't got what you got.
Answer this one question.
You don't have any books. Show me what books you read.
Fine. Let me ask you.
What books have you read?
Kala.
You have not read a book.
What country? Hold on. What country and what city was Liberia confronted about this, and what?
Okay, it was the English and the French confronted them about this going on.
Okay, all right.
British were trying to basically, they wanted the monopoly on that crew labor and stuff like that. So this is what they happened. Liberia was in debt to the British.
Okay. Wait a minute. You see, you guys. Okay, I gotta give you this. The guy clearly, he does know about this situation. I gotta let you guys know this. He does know what he's talking about. But here's what he's doing. Hold on. Let me finish. He does know what he's talking about, but he is muddying the water. That's what I'm not. No, I'm not. That's what he's doing here.
Oh, let me finish. Now, what happened was
you don't have to attack me. Just speak your mind.
Shut up, a white man here now. Shut up.
Hold up.
Shut up, you porch monkey.
Yo, watch your mouth, bro.
Yeah, anybody comes up on this platform. Check this out. When the Christie report happened, do you know Christie never made it beyond Monrovia? He was supposed to.
Yeah, but Carla, don't distract us. Let's talk about the colonization.
When Christie went to Liberia, right? He only interviewed people in Monrovia, right? He never went to the Crew Coast where it was supposed to be happening. So he never seen firsthand. Then after his extensive research, he said, no, there's no slavery, but he advised the Liberian government to take care of the natives, pay them a little more better, and worry about their general welfare. That was a recommendation of the Christie report, and it concluded that no slavery did not exist. That's the conclusion of the Christie report.
Thank you. Let me read this super chat. Give me a moment. From Nakmizi. Thank you, Nakmizi. Nakmizi said, American Colonization Society. Need I say more? Thank you for the super chat.
Yeah, another pearl of sage of wisdom.
All right, let's bring in Anthony. We have Anthony in the house. Anthony, where are you calling from? I don't know what happened to Anthony over there. Okay, let's bring Imperious. Imperious, as long as you keep your language clean and be respectful, I'll keep you up here. All right. So we just want to have conversation. We can agree to disagree, but let's keep it clean. All right.
I'm going to be very simple. Hold on. I'll be very simple.
If you are affected by words, insults, and feelings, you don't have the gray matter capacity to inject yourself into a debate. If I can
Well,
break,
wait a minute.
Bro, you're throwing insults. Well,
Here's the
you could just talk on the
sir,
topic.
sir. Stick with the topic, okay? And also, we have to go by the guidelines over here. You don't need to be vulgar for people to understand what you are saying. I'll give you one more chance. All right? Okay. Let's go Imperious. One more chance.
okay, but for blacks, you do need to curse. That's their culture.
Well, you're gonna take my.
I'm
You
just
want the
saying,
stream to stay up, right?
what strength? What strength to stay up,
The
dude?
stream. No, my stream that I'm doing.
I have not said anything that's TOS that would get your stream taken down.
No. So okay, what's your point? Go ahead.
My
We want
point is this: all of these people on here express a foundational morality without having any justification or any way to describe it. You have no ontology or epistemology. It's a bunch of big blip baboons going. Why do you believe what you believe?
Yeah.
So
Why
what do you want to say? Okay, tell us.
What is ontology?
Hold
What is
on.
ontology and epistemology? Does anyone here even know that?
Bro, this is
All
a
right,
topic.
let's
Is he back? Is
bring
he
in.
back?
Hold on. Let's bring in Anthony. I mean, who's got
Anthony
time
knows.
for?
Anthony knows my good friend Kyle Fambula. You know,
Let's bring
she's
in.
like
Let's
he's
bring
like
in Anthony.
Kyle
Hold on.
Fambula's like my teacher. You know.
Hold on, Carl. Let's bring in Anthony McHale. Anthony, welcome to the Afridamus Report.
Hey, peace, brothers. How y'all doing, man?
We are doing well. Where are you calling from,
What's
Anthony?
up, bro?
I'm calling from Shreveport, Louisiana, man. Yeah.
Louisiana. Okay, Anthony,
Yep.
what do you want to add on to this topic here? What's Liberia with this? Why do they want to whitewash, the colonization of Liberia?
Okay. All right. I say it like this. You know, I don't want to choose sides or nothing because I'm a Pan Africanist and I love black people
But
everywhere.
no.
But,
It's
okay.
not about
Yeah.
Pan-Africanism. It's about facts, right?
I got you. I got you.
So
I got you. I got you.
unless you want to say
No.
colonizing is based on skin color, but
No.
these
No.
people were. So what? Why is the Liberian colonization being whitewashed?
Okay. Okay. I got you, bro. I was just trying to set it up a little bit. Something. I understand what you're saying. I understand both sides of what y'all saying, and I think that I think that it's a little bit. Everybody, it's some truth in what all of y'all are saying. But like this sister from Liberia, Mrs. Kyle Fambulay, I listen to her all the time. Hey, she's a Liberian sister. No, she's not from the States. She's from Liberia. And I'm saying that she breaks it down and she tells it, and it's pretty much an even thing, It's not like leaning one side or the other.
We have a Liberian up here,
Yeah.
though.
No, that guy is a clown. No, this is Kyle Fambula is a real scholar.
Hold on, we have a Liberian up here. Just FYI.
Yeah, but he's typical of most Liberians that ignorant.
I was just trying to make my little point, and I'm gonna get off, bro. I'm gonna get off, bro. But I'm saying, I think yes. I understand what the topic of the thing is, but I'm just saying I don't want to get it there. But I think we need. It's a little bit of both sides. I think there's a little of both sides.
Hold on.
It was an elite thing. Okay, go ahead.
Anthony, for me, it's not about. I'm not saying choose side whatsoever, right? However you see it, right? Hey, just tell it like that, because it doesn't matter how you slice this. Not everyone is gonna agree. So whatever however you see it, just tell it that way. It's not gonna make everyone happy or make everybody sad, but that's how you see it. That's how you see it.
I just look at it like I think, yes, there was that element no one could see where you could talk about kind of like a colonizer thing. But I'm just saying, I just think that it was more deeper than that, and it was more intertwined because it was just more of a nuance and just that's what.
Oh man, something
you breaking up. You're breaking up, bro.
Oh man, I don't know what's happening to your audio. If you can fix that.
Okay.
Anthony, are you there? Oh,
Yes,
there you
sir.
are. You're,
Yeah, I'm there.
yeah, okay. Yeah, you
Yeah.
were breaking up. I mean, sorry.
Okay.
Can you say what you were saying?
Yeah. All of this saying, I think we ought to take a more nuanced approach to it, a more deeper approach to it than just it was just one thing. But yeah, I mean, I can agree with both sides though. It was a little bit of that, it was a little bit of this.
But that's not possible though.
I mean, okay, I understand. I mean,
Yeah,
I think
that's
that
not possible.
what I'm saying is, yes, I think it was a little bit of a colonizer thing
You,
to it, but
yeah, I mean,
I think later on it was also a
Anthony,
bit of
right?
the people coming together.
So, okay, Anthony, for example, like I'm from
Okay,
Gambia. You've heard of Gambia?
yeah, the Gambia, I heard of it.
Okay, so the British, the white people, they colonized that place.
Yeah,
And they didn't even do quarter of what these black colonizers that are not being called colonizers did in Liberia. Okay. So why is it that the white people, no questions asked, are called colonizers?
Well, if you look at it, it was the
And
white
wait,
people who colonized Liberia. It was the American Colonization Society who started that.
well, all right, Anthony, you've hit it. That's where I'm driving to, but there are
Yeah,
many
it was the blacks who took over and started a republic, but the American
Thank you.
Colonization Society started that.
But you see, that's where Carla is in denial about that. Because even, we can, if the black people who took over, they could have transferred this colonizing, knowledge onto the rest of us. Nice. And we can use it positively, That's all I'm saying. I mean, no need to
Yeah, that's true.
whitewash
That's
it,
true.
right? Okay,
Yeah, I think a lot of times people forget
Yeah,
that
but the
the
thing is,
reason why they started American colonization, they wanted to get rid of the free black people who was a
Right,
problem for the other enslaved Africans in America. So we need a
right.
place to get rid of them. And so they started that American colonization, that thing in Liberia. But later on, the blacks took it over and started a republic though. Because first, like the first 10 governors or whatever was all white men.
Yeah.
Until later, like the Elijah Johnsons and the other brothers later on. You know what I'm saying? The republic was founded by the black people, but the colony was started by the white people.
Yeah. Kedo, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm
yeah,
here.
So I mean, these guys have mentioned that they know Liberian, and you're Liberian. Hearing what they are saying, what's your take on it?
One thing I want to tell all people that look like me around the world is if you want to address issues, do not be petty about things and want to please people. Like that, if you do that, it will not make people to grow. It will not make people to develop. If you know something is right, say it's right. You know something is wrong, say it's wrong. You are not just. You shouldn't take two sides. Don't be lukewarm. Let people know what you are standing on. In order, you are speaking of Pan-Africanism today. I'm coming to that issue. I don't want to take a second, right? You are speaking of Pan-Africanism today, and you talk of that. In order for Pan-Africanism to work, the lights need to join with the lights and the dark and leave the darkness, because light and darkness have nothing in common to be together. So if you are on the light side, go and be with people on the light side. You don't have to mix. If you mix between the two, nothing there. What will happen is it will just be a confusion. Nothing will work. So
Kedo, you
yes,
said
and
something, right?
yes.
That like Carla said it, and you were upset at it. But so, for example, like people getting upset about being referred to as native, is this like a new age thing? Like in Liberia,
No,
people
let me tell you something. I'm not upset, and we are not upset about it. But the thing is, I don't want you to only call me native. I'm a native. I am a native of the land, because what? I'm of that land. But if you only call me native, if that is only my identity, you are trying to say that I'm of the servant class, and we are no longer of the servant class of that land. We are fight to overcome the America of free slave colonists that descended, that were oppressing us. We have fought and we have overcome them. So we are no longer natives. We are no longer considered only natives. In Liberia, people don't get angry when you call them, and people like me, they don't get angry when you call them natives. But some of them, when you only refer to some people as native, they get people have problem with it. For when you call them, talking to them, call them African, or you call them by their ethnic group, but you don't just say the natives. No. Or for example, when you want to use the word native, you can say, "Oh, this man is native of this land." You wouldn't have problem with it. You can tell me I'm native of the land. I wouldn't have problem, but I'm not
So you're
only
saying
a native.
so when you say native, it has a different connotation, like different meaning
Yeah,
in Liberia.
when you no, not just Liberia. It is a wisdom, right? It's a thing of wisdom. When you only if I
No,
look at you,
because like over here in America, the natives
yes,
don't mind they are being called natives.
yes, the natives, the people in America now that they refer to as natives or indigenous people, those people are of the servant class. The America is owned by white people. So that's why they refer to them as natives. They are trying to say that because they are trying to say, you know what they are, do you know what they mean when they say that? They are trying to say that those people are of that land. That is the land that they are of. But the nation that is on that land,
What's wrong with that?
yes, the nation that is on that land, they are not. I mean, they don't own that nation. Or the nation that is on that land, that nation is not for them. They are. You understand, right? That nation
So
is for another group of people. That is what they are trying to say. They are trying to say that the nation that is on the land, the nation is not for them. The nation is for another group of people, but they are off the land. That is what they are trying to tell them. So they are trying to tell them that, okay, we the white people, we own this nation that is on this land. But for you natives, you are of this land, but you are not, this nation is not for you. So in short, it means they are servants. So we were called natives before, when especially during the time when we never had the right to vote to vote during election. We of course we were natives because we were servant
wait,
class because we were living below. But
so
we have
Kato, you
overcome
saying
them now. We are no longer like that. And the
so
president of Liberia is an example. The president of Liberia is a native of the land. He's of the Kisi ethnic group. So we are no longer called, or we are no longer only called natives. We are natives of the land, but we are no longer only natives again. I hope you understand me. Is there any problem with it?
no, I mean I was just trying to understand because
No, I understand.
yeah, I was just trying to understand the point. But yeah, I got you. I mean, maybe in Liberia, yeah, it's got a different meaning, and I can understand. You got like some of these blacks, they show up from being free from the plantation, and they're using plantation tactics, using all that psychological, and slave tactics on the natives. I can, oh, my bad, the Liberian. I mean, I don't even know what to say now on the tribe people.
No, you can call us when you can say when you can say natives of the land, no problem. But when you are formally referring to us, when you are formally, you understand what I'm trying to say? When you are formally, you can call
But
me native. I
but,
don't
but
care.
Kedo,
When you are
Kedo,
formally,
Kedo, Kedo.
yes.
For example, what if like some of the blacks they are like, but Kedo, you refer to us as slaves.
But the thing is,
What do you say to that? Like, because if they say, I
I
mean,
want to
they
ask
say
you. I want to ask you.
yeah, uh-huh.
Do you think those blacks are really free from the whites like that? Don't you? First of all, those blacks that they are still mentally enslaved. They are still mentally enslaved, and those blacks they still have their master's name. And one of the things is when you need. Do you know that when you need something, it means you own that thing? If your name is on a particular thing, and that name if not have not moved from that thing, it means you still own that thing. That's why I say that their masters just free them, but they are still slaves. I'm not trying to insult them. That is why have you listened to this man called Jesse Lee Peterson?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's interesting. He's one of the interesting Americans. He always asks questions. What is wrong with the blacks? If I have the opportunity to go on that man show, I will explain to him. I'll tell him that those blacks, the blacks are still enslaved
I've met
mentally.
Jesse Lee. I've met him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I know that was interesting.
yeah,
I'm
very
afraid of
interesting
that.
conversation.
Even though I disagree with something you say, but I like to watch his show. His
Yeah.
show is very very
Okay,
interesting.
Princip, you were gonna say something. Princip, are you there?
Yeah, but he took the conversation somewhere else. So is he saying is yeah, I'm talking. It's like a light delay, but it seems like he's trying to say that it's okay to refer to them as slaves due to mental slavery. So do you think that adds to confusion and issues on the land when you're still referring to them by negative connotation? Mind you, the majority of those people were never enslaved. Most of them were from free societies that went back to Liberia. So don't you think you also add to the conflict when you refer to them as such?
They were free, but even though they got free, they were still owned by white people, even though they got freed. That's what I'm trying to say. They got freed, but their master's name was still on them. They got free, but they still feel, but their master still control them, even though they got freed. I give an example today. I say the Amoravis. Do you know that? But you heard of the Amoravis and the black slaves that they bought from West Africa, right? The people that some other black Americans like to claim to and say Moors, Moors,
Yeah.
Moors, even though those people were slaves too. Those people were
Yeah, no,
they were
when I said it yesterday, the most are the Motisa Arab version, the Arab
All right,
version.
so yeah, so all right. So I'm coming.
Yeah.
So those blacks they were given some level of freedom too because they went as enslaved soldiers. They bought them. They were still slaves, but they were working as slave soldiers and they were getting salaries. They even got married to white women in Europe. They were moving around freely. Nobody was bothering them, but they have to be in line. The day they decide to step out of line, their
Hmm.
masters will kill them. Yes, that is why I say. So if the blacks, I'm not trying to be sarcastic or talk bad against them. If the blacks truly want to be free, the first thing they need to do is they need to get knowledge. You know, knowledge is one of the things that make people is one of the things that make us to perish. They need to get knowledge about themselves. They need so that they can have mental freedom. And next, they need to change their names. They need to change their names from on them. And secondly, it will not be an easy thing. Even if they do that, those white people will fight them. Do you know one of the reasons why black culture was promoted in America? Because the white people they were afraid that if those black that they free, if they see the other they will begin to like to say that oh these things the white people say against us that we are inferior is like it's not true. So what they did was they noticed that they have done some bad experiments on the blacks, like to make them to be loose. So they created that loose culture. So they want and they promoted it and they glorified and make them to feel good and make them to feel high of themselves and make them even though they still then from there the next thing is so that their culture can be influenced see it and subscribes to it and want to be like them. That was the first intent. But later when they noticed that other race of the world was copying those culture, they decided to
Thank you, Kato. All right.
also as tools to
Thank you,
conquer the
Kato.
world.
Thank you. All right. Before we close out here, go ahead, Ola. Okay. Before we close out here, so do you guys this question? Do you guys think now the blacks would should be able to come to Africa and create their own country? You go ahead, Ola.
No, they should have their own regions. I think they should have their own regions, but I think overall it's like dealing with any people coming from a distant land, even though they're of African descent. You have to probe the backgrounds and stuff like that to make sure they're not agents of chaos or sellouts. Because even in America, some of the movements were taken down by informants and sellouts. So that's the cautionary tale. But even when you talk about what Kidodo was talking about with the Moors was a coalition of different Africans, from the
When
mixed ones to
the
the
more look, the Moors were
black ones
just
of early
look
Muslim
Princip.
converts. All of
You
them, you
don't
know
want
how
to
they spread
Princip.
Islam. They all enslaved.
Hold on, Princip. I told you yesterday the Moors were nothing but Arab Motisas. That's all. Yeah, that's all. They were Arab Motisas. Yeah. And DiCapriano
I
said
view them as
Africa for the
sellouts, but I feel like
Africans.
you got to
Hold on,
put it in
Princip.
context.
Princip,
You got
what
to
do you
put it
say
in
to this?
context. But
There's no
overall,
a Motisa is a Motisa. There's no context here.
The truth of the matter is, we should have to put it
He
clear.
said Africans for the Africans, but African Americans are African as well.
Hold on.
That's the thing. So the same way.
Go ahead.
We just have to define it well, because somehow we're kind of like hiding it, or trying to say, oh, the African Americans or the Black Americans are not Africans. They never fed Africans. They never fed Africans. The 500 they are people. They cannot come to Africa to form no damn country. They're citizens of United States.
Ola, do you think they would fit in more in Africa now that, because there's been a lot of Africans, I mean, let's say like myself, that's lived in American society. So maybe back in those days, the difference between them and Africans probably now, no longer exists or narrowed down.
Yes, the difference between them and Africans is totally gone. You understand me? It never really exists. I think this kind of thing, we should never really pretend it. A white South Africans can even be more understanding.
Ola, that's not true.
Hold on.
No, Ola, what I'm saying is, like now, maybe before, like Africans didn't understand, this part of the world, but now there's a lot more Africans on this part of the world.
Yes, yeah, because somehow we kind of like pretend and label people that they are not really Africans and started calling them Africans. You understand me? Look, everybody can be whatever they want to be, but you have to group these people under. You can see the experiment they did. Even Issa 80 something when they came to Liberia. That's about 60 years or 80 years after when they took them there. You understand me? The experiment in Liberia was a very bad one, and that bad one never showed that they never really feel connected or connection to the Black people they met in that place called Liberia now. You understand me? They always see them as strange people, backward people, all kind of names. Till Samode took over the power. They were using all kind of tactics.
Can I respond real quick?
Hold on. Let me finish. I'll give you time.
Can I respond real quick?
They will use all kind of tactics to deceive the neighboring countries and other countries. But why the I don't want to call them native because they heard this guy a lot. Why the people that owns that land, they were
no. Call us native. It doesn't matter. Call us native.
So what they were doing, right? In Liberia, American Liberia will come to Ghana. We will say brother. American Liberia will come to Nigeria. Will say, oh, my brother. But why in Liberia, they were suppressing the people, the native there. So you can see what they were trying to do. They were trying to deceive and decept that you will not know actually what they're doing. And this will always be part of the Black American type of culture. A petty propaganda to spread lies and all kind of ways and try to pretend that they're with you when they were never really with you. They did it with Kuruma. Kuruma was gone. You understand me? So they never really have the emotional connection towards Africa or to the African people or the sub-Saharan people that they say they are part of. They don't have the connection. We cannot call them African, and they have no place or basis of any place to come and form a country that never actually belonged to them. The Portuguese that came back, the Africans of the Portuguese, they said that came back. They fed African. Those people, when they came back, they were not playing this game, colonization, try to rule or suppress. They just fit into the society they met and live their lives. Some of them become even very prosperous,
So so the Blacks if they want to colonize again, you don't think that you don't, would you sign off on that?
No. They should remain in the United States where they are. You understand me? They're not coming back. They're nothing like Africa for Africans. Try to use that word. Because words miss a lot. By using Africa for Africans is a word that actually they're using and this part of being a Pan-Africanism people, we have to be very.
So you think they are deceiving Africans by saying African for African?
Yes.
So that would mean anyone that, if you're even in America, you will be considered African.
Yes, because that word Africa for Africa that they created is a deceiving word. It's a word to deceive and they're using that word to come behind the back door by using these fake Pan-Africanist people. That's why I say we have to be very wary of this Pan-Africanism. You understand me? It's a part of the pawn also. It's not just the Pan-African alone. The Hebrew Israelites also is now want to go under the belly of Pan-Africanism and saying they are Hebrew, they are Jews, things that never really exist. If you give them the space, they will whip you like the way they will be whipped like Kunta Kunte, and they will whip you pretty good. You understand me? Because
That's
they
true. That's
already
true.
taste the whip,
That's true.
and they will whip you very hard.
All right. Let's allow Paulo.
So yeah, Fredamus. How are you, man?
I'm well. Where are you calling from, Paulo?
I'm from Angola. I think we've spoken at cities.
Oh, okay. So,
Yeah.
Paulo, like, what do you want to add on to what you are hearing here? Why do they want to whitewash Black Americans enslaving the Liberians?
Oh, it's not comfortable to talk about it or to talk about the matter or probably to talk about what really happened there. It's as far as I know from the history of Liberia, it wasn't pretty, yeah, what happened there. So I understand that probably there's a lot of people in the continent that might be skeptic of a possible return, yeah, of large numbers of Black Americans to the continent.
Right.
So it's.
Can I say
think,
something?
yeah.
Because what Ola's saying, he's also, I think you guys are not putting history in full context. Some of the original people that went back were elitist and free people. So when you're trying to group them with Pan Africanists, you have to also include the class of people that they
Yeah,
were, because they were elitists, right?
because they
The same
denied
way,
Marcus Garvey from coming to
yeah,
Liberia.
exactly. Exactly. So that's one element. And also, you got to also put in context that they're also the bourgeois. The same way you're bourgeois in your country, they don't frequent you people like that. They frequent their own group. They have their own enclave of wealthy people and tribesmen and other regional and tribal elites that they frequent. They don't frequent no Ola like that. So this is a misconception of what you're saying. So he's the same way the Ola always tells the story that he went to a white club, saw random Black Americans, and he assumed that they were Pan Africanists. How does a white who thinks like that? These guys were in Pan. So you got to put in context. I'm not trying to say that what the Liberians, the American Liberians did was not wrong. It was wrong, but you got to put it in context. Everybody doesn't think like them. Even there's writings about certain African Americans who opposed them and thought that they were mistreating the natives over there. There's writings about that. So it's not like everybody agreed with them, right? And there's like you know what I mean. So I think again, you have to probe people's minds. Just because you're Haitian don't mean you're going to be a proud Haitian. Just because you're Nigerian, like Ola, he married a white woman. He's not proud. So you can't just assume
Why you
everybody's
gotta
going to be
mention?
proud
Why
just
you gotta
because.
mention his white woman?
Well, is that a attribute of pride when you go marry another woman and you go on channels bashing your own Nigerian woman? Is that an attribute of pride?
I'll let Ola answer that. Like, what do you mean pride?
I think I think this guy I think is being hot. I don't know where you're from, and I'm still standing by
He's
my
from
ground.
Haiti.
Okay, it's okay.
Every proud Haitian I know, they marry Haitian women or other Black women. So
Yeah, but
if you
just
how can you be a proud Nigerian and you bash your own women and you imported a woman from Europe?
You see, I'm not Black American man that come here and insulted their own people and their women every time on this thing. I just tell you that if that what I said hurt you, that is not my business. My business that we have tested, we have seen, we have had, and we also have an example of you people. I can't call you because you think like Black American anyway. That there's no place or room, even if there's even a parlor, what they call city room or kitchen, or even a street or a toilet for any Black Americans to come to Africa to look for a space. They are not Africans. These people belong to United States. We saw 80 years that they took them, and they brought some to return to come and conquer and apartheid a group of people that met over there and use propaganda that they are cannibalists, they are this, to champion up their atrocity. And who use this kind of wares propaganda for? The French. When the French started showing that the Africans have tails in their ears, that they are half humans and they are monkey as a propaganda. So that's what I said. The propaganda the Black Americans came with is all propaganda. And that propaganda is these blacks that
Yeah,
met
but hold on
first. That they are cannibalists, that they eat
all right, go ahead.
human beings. Hold on. You see, words of propaganda is very heavy. If these people were eating themselves, how has it become their population? They give birth, they sit, they build houses. You can see what Aphrodama showed. A man building a house for a family, and his family is going to farm and try to protect his children, and for the sun, for the snake, and for the rain, for any dangerous thing that will affect his family. See, it's easy to say, oh, when we came over there, they were cannibalists, they were this, they were that. But you forget that these people were people who protect their family, who have a normal life, who go to farm, crop, hunt, and everything. So you're not going to fall into this propaganda that you people try to sell to us. There's nothing like Africans for Africa. Belong to your United States where you find yourself, belong there and find a home there. You coming to Africa to come and sell me B1, B2, we are one family? I don't think so. A majority of Africans are not finding that in a very hard way now.
But hold on, can I respond?
Go ahead.
Can I respond real quick? Well,
Yeah.
because basically what he's applying is generalization. Because I have heard him spoken about his own one of his mother. Because I believe he spoke of his father. He said his father had multiple wives, and one of his multiple wives was an African American woman who showed him immense love and respect. So this guy is just generalizing, and then he speaks in pockets and terms and whatever, which is very misleading. So at the end of the day, there's some that are anti-African, but there's also some that's pro-African. There's some Africans, even like my dear professor that I love. He's talking about it's okay that the white man come back and colonize Africa. Is that Pan-African? Is that pro-Africa? No,
Yes.
but he also
That's
have
pro
other
African.
ideals that are also positive. So you guys accept his nuance. No, that's not. That's not. But you guys respect his nuance, and you come to the show, right? At the same time, there's different individuals in the diaspora for whether Jamaica, Trinidad, Grenada, St. Lucie, Martinique. They're already in Africa. African Americans that's already in Africa who respect Africa. So that's my thing. So all of just very much generalizing, not understanding that there's different archetypes in every people. There's certain people that's very proud, and some people that's self-hating. So for you to generalize is like foolish.
Yeah, so I come in before you go back up. I just want to give a short point. For their some of their master tactics that they are using, saying that the people were cannibals and they were doing this. The secret cults that their masters have. Do you know some of the secret dark things that are doing those cults? They like to say that the Native Americans were primitive, they were killing each other, doing human sacrifice and all of that to their gods. But the cults that these people have, there are some horrible things they are doing in those cults. But it's not coming to light. They are just hiding it. They are doing some worse things than those Native Americans and even the Africans that they are talking about. So, and when those people came, and that's why I say Africans should join all of the Africans that are in Liberia, the other Africans that are both on the continent and the other diasporas that see themselves as Africans. They should join us to fight against those who are working as agents against Africans, because those the war that is on us that have been on us in Liberia and all now is not a war against the natives on the land. It is a war against Africans. When Mr. Dolan was talking,
Thank you.
I come in just let me end now. When Mr.
Let's we're towards the end, but let's allow two more. Paulo, do you want to add on to that?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that okay, I do agree that like what I said initially, yeah, that there might be Black Americans, yeah, who actually end up hating their African heritage and don't wanting to have anything to do with Africa. But I also agree that there's other Black Americans, and probably Afrodams, you can tell me that because you live in the US and you know that better than me. There's probably a few or more many Black Americans who actually liked Africa. They would like, for example, to, I don't know, live or be more connected with Africa.
Like
I don't
move there?
move or have
Nah,
links with Africa.
I don't know any. Maybe the ones I know are living way too good in America. Now, none of them are even, you know.
Hold on.
So
Afrodamus.
Yeah.
DC, Philadelphia have a large group of African American people that live in Senegal and Gambia. You do know that, right?
I do.
With the Muslims, because they have a heavy Muslim enclave. They have a lot of people
Yeah,
that can speak
they need to come
Wolof and
back
all that kind of stuff, and they're
they
African
need to
American.
come back.
You do
They
know
need
that,
to
right?
come back to Philadelphia. But let's let's bring St. James. We need to replace them with white people. Go
Well,
ahead.
why is that? Why is that?
Why is that, Afrodamus?
Because the white people will build
See,
infrastructure.
that's happening. See, hold on. Where's St. James? Because St. James, because Saint James, that always preaching Torah this and Torah that, which I love
But
Torah, but Saint James
allow
will
St.
hear this and
James
say nothing.
allow
Why
St.
Saint
James to
James never
speak.
call out his brother welcoming colonization? Why is that?
Hold on. Let's allow St. James to give his point on the Liberia. Then, yeah, go ahead, St. James.
Hi, Alfredamus, man. Thanks for having me, man.
No
Actually,
problem.
fortunately and unfortunately, I just came home from giving my 8 hours to the Almighty.
Yeah.
Yo, what's going on, man?
Oh
What?
man, we here talking about Liberia. You came at the tail end of it though.
I just
So
noticed. I just noticed, man.
yeah,
Did my man Carla call in?
he was here early.
Oh,
He
okay.
was,
What did they say?
he,
What did they
he
say about the topic?
yeah, I mean he was deflecting, trying
Hmm.
to find fights and yeah,
Okay.
yeah, but
Okay.
he didn't
Yeah.
want to address the actual topic.
Oh, okay. What's up, kiddo? How you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. And
So
you?
St. James, why
Yeah.
are they
But
trying to
Saint James,
whitewash?
Saint James, why you never call out?
I'll be back. Keep talking.
What's up, man? Oh.
Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead,
Saint
bro.
James,
Go
why you
ahead.
never call out Afrodamus for welcoming or the idea of recolonization of Africa? Why you never call that out? Why you never call that out?
Call what out? I'm not following you. What's this topic is about? What do you want me
Afrodamus,
what do you want me to call out?
this topic is about colonization. So black
Right,
colonization, all forms of
right.
colonization, and we're acknowledging
No, basically, I'm just saying,
Afrodamus just repeated that
yeah.
that whites should come back and colonize Africa. That's what he just repeated. You didn't hear that?
No, I did not because I was at work, so I missed the
No,
beginning.
I
So you
think
guys,
I think Afrodamus said that out of I think he was joking because he was saying comparing it to the free slave colonizers that came. He said that the white would build the place better. I think he was just joking with it.
yeah, okay. I missed that part, my brother. I wasn't there, but Keto, I have a question for the Liberians. When the coup happened in 1980, right? That was 1980 when they took out, you know, that
Tobit.
was the Torbert in 1980, correct?
Yes.
When the coup happened, did Doe and his people targeted a specific group of people, or they were targeting all the America, just for the lack of better word, all the people that returned from the West?
All right. So when the coup occurred, to be honest, firstly, the main reason why they carry on that was not to go and carry on genocide against the American Liberian. No, it was against their rule because their rule was an oppressive rule. So they decided to stop their rule. So that was why the coup occurred. But
Okay, you
some
have
of
a
those,
specific person
yes,
within the group, not even
yeah,
the entire group, just specific.
yeah, specific group of people, not
Okay.
everyone.
Okay, what led to the people like so most American Liberians that went back to build Liberia after the coup, since they were not targeted, what happened to them? Did they stay or did they leave?
The problem is, to be honest with you, there was two group of people in Liberia. There were those that were for we should only attack those people that are working as agent against us and leave the other innocent one. And there were those that were for let's just kick all of them out. And the Samuel Doe group were for kicking every one of them out. Samuel Doe wanted to put all of them out. And yeah, even though I was in around that time, but I don't support that idea to just kick everybody out like that because there were some good ones who were against what those people were doing to us. There was some good one among them. So Samuel Doe actually hated them badly. No, nobody in Liberia, even the Liberians can say that Samuel Doe hated the American Liberians.
Hold on, guys. Guys, remember we were doing the closing
Okay,
statement.
so after that, so let me. I'm gonna do my closing.
Yeah, let's do the closing because I gotta get out of
Okay,
here.
so if in the near future, so what I would like to do, because I would like to understand, right? Because Carla said that when the coup happened, most people say when the coup happened, right, Liberia collapsed. So what we trying to do, what I'm trying to understand here. So if
I showed a lot of documentaries in the beginning.
Okay.
But we can do the coup part. We didn't.
No. After the coup part, that's what I'm trying to understand. After the coup part,
we didn't talk about that. Maybe
right later. Yes. So we can understand exactly what caused the collapse. Because I have an idea, but if you can do a show and to see exactly what caused the collapse. So Carla has been saying that because the people who took over were now experienced enough to run the country.
With Samuel Doe, you have to remember Samuel Doe did not have beef with like American Liberian.
No, I get it.
The system remained. Samuel Doe had beef with
certain people.
With certain people like from what is it called? Nimba County.
Right.
The Geo, like there's like Geo and
I'm from that group. I'm from Nimba County.
Nimba County. So he had beef with those people because because of some of his behaviors. So like what he did. Like one of
so you can. So what I was trying to see.
There was a guy called General Kwampa. That did an attempted coup on him, and the way he treated him was just
and his people
totally out of pocket. But let's do our closing.
All right, that's all I wanted to know. I'm happy that you brought that up. I hope it's the first from the first from the very few to come next, because I want to dig deeper to what happened after the coup, because that would answer a lot of questions. I really truly believe that. So thank you very much. Thanks for having me, and have a great day, man.
Thank you for coming. All right, let's go, Princip. Okay, Paulo, closing statement.
Yeah, Afridams, I'm a fan of your show. I've been watching for a few weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. You do your show every day?
Well, I used to, but I'm trying to do every day, back to the everyday again.
Okay. Yes. No worries. I'll continue to watch, and if possible to have a little bit of talk with you guys. It's interesting to talk with you guys.
Thank you.
Take care.
It's a nice show. You brought some things that drove Carla away from this place. That the lady, that woman that's about 72 years old woman, was crying that the daddy did sleep on the one pillow.
Yeah, all I see, if he didn't want to answer that, and I showed the proof.
Yeah, well, you show it, it kind of like dog, you run, because I told you that just the way they fed. And if you check the way they speak, that's why I never really trust this FBA of a thing. And because they don't come in the group, if they come on the group, occupy a place, they will, even in Ghana, they start forming some kind of like WhatsApp group. It's okay, you can be with your people.
And you think they would have, if they had controlled Ghana, they would have called Trump daddy?
Oh, yes. Yes, it's just part of their system. It's a tactics of them. They love the white man. They're part of them, and they can never really separate themselves from them. I was gonna cry, oh no, the white man is this, the white man is that. You know, it's just part of the whole ball game. You understand me? They try
And
to
all that they were jealous of him going to spend more time in Nigeria.
yes,
Like
yeah,
I noticed they were more mad about Nigeria. Even these these FBAs, they just get mad about Nigeria.
Because the dad is going to discharge the cookie in Nigeria, and he just drop about 1 or 2 cookies by the table side, and the other one is going to share it big, they're going to drop everything in Nigeria. So that's when they were pissed. You know, and I could see when this guy came over, they didn't like him. They didn't like the Reagans at that time, they didn't like him. George Bush,
They didn't like him, but you know, they
were looking for a way. They were looking for
because they had they need someone who can, you know, they need their investments protected. So those
so they were looking for a way to push him out. Only that it's taking them more time because the guy was heavily seated in that post, and nobody could to take him out. That's when they now resort to a very violent way by bringing in Charles Taylor. You understand? Charles Taylor
was crazy though, to be honest.
Oh yeah, it was great. He was I think Doe was saying the truth, and most African countries believe what was saying was true. You know, before this, what Kala is trying to do, Penty Tepe, that's what the so-called American liberals were doing to Nigeria, coming to Nigeria to come out sing brotherhood. They're going to Ghana to speak brotherhood, but why the people where they're living with, they were pushing them, taking that, to all kind of, all kind of shit there. You understand? It's the same thing they see the Tariqa shit is still doing now.
No soul food for you.
No food, no soul food, no macaroni cheese, and I just prefer
pancakes.
Principle. If that was paining you, I just prefer my yogurt with walnut and blackberries, and some kind of grapefruit on it. I like it with the white sauce. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Princip, go ahead. Go ahead, Princip. Princip, go ahead.
With the white sauce. Can I go? Let me go because I want Kidola to close out the show because this is his show, his country. You know what I mean? So respectfully, it's a great show. Everything. And I'm talking right now. There's a slight delay, but yeah. Overall, it's a good show. I feel like we have to understand that we have to learn from our mistakes in the past and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So overall, I think we have to learn from the mistakes that we did, not explain them away like Kala likes to do. My Angolan, Congolese, Liberian brother, he has to acknowledge that there was wrongdoing to learn from the past. And there's nothing wrong with having your own little enclaves. I do think the more Native Africans should lead.
Why do you think he ran
that
away?
way, they're the majority in the first place, so they should lead. But there's no different than I think in Gambia, there's Ghana towns and Nigerian areas that are predominantly Nigerian.
Why do you think he ran away?
He didn't expect to see a video of a person from his lineage talking about the white man should stay longer in Liberia and refer to them as daddy. You know what I mean? So he was embarrassed and he ran. He was embarrassed, so he ran. But overall, like I said, we got to learn from our mistakes and we got to acknowledge when it's right. We have to understand there's nuance in different people. I was shocked. I never seen that video in my life. I was very shocked. But Kala thing. I think Kala seen that before. He tried to hide that video. He tried to report that page before you got to it. You know what I mean? You know how Kala do. But overall, we got to learn from what we and kind of sort of accept influence and hierarchy. Because I feel like a lot of us I remember I was speaking to a Liberian lady in Philadelphia, and she was telling me, she didn't want Nigerians to come invest in Liberia. I was like, what the hell? But she was talking about the election. But I feel like sometimes you have to acknowledge who is the more dominant African and allow them to lead and invest. But the one that are also more dominant in leading, they have to have an understanding that there's a expectations to leadership. It's not just a one side take. But again, that's how it is, man. I believe in coordination and self respect and loving your own stuff, your own tribe, your own people. I love my Haitian people. And I love Nigerians, I love Liberians and African Americans too. So we just gotta move better and learn from our mistakes. It's like the white man did. The white men warred amongst themselves. The white men had crusades, etc. But they learned to coordinate, and I think we should do the same. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Well, thank you very much for being a pro-black colonizer. Thank you. All right, Kato, closing.
Yes, thank you for the show today, man. At least you've been promising that you bring the show, and you finally brought this.
You're
Yeah.
right.
The whole issue of what happened during the war, that story, I think it should be another time discussion between Samuel Doe and the people from Nima. I am from Nima, but for me, I'm not just like I would like to go by what is right, and I will not just pick sides because I'm from a certain group. No, even though I have my issues too with some of with Doe regime or some of the things he did, but there are some things that he did that I see that I don't have problem with as well.
Right.
So I think if you bring another one for all to follow discuss it, it will be better. But the definition was very clear today. Everyone understood that Liberia was Liberia was colonized. So it's not something, so when people are talking about countries in Africa that were colonized now, they will not leave Liberia out because of that scheming thing that those people are doing to be scheming us.
Thank you very
All right.
much. Okay, have a good one. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you see it. We are finally at the end of the show. Carla ran away. You guys saw that. Once the evidence came in, he tried to bait me into a shouting match, and I didn't go for it. I mean, it's all about education. We're not here to judge, point fingers, but you learn from things. Just teach us about the white colonizers in school. So I think they should teach us, about the black colonizers. But that's what the Afridamus report is here for. Why ask other people to do it when you can do it yourself? So until next time, I'll see you guys on the next one. And we might be going to Cameroon and Madagascar. Some wild stuff is happening there. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Lend thy ears to the Afridamus. Pay attention to the Afridamus. The true Soninke warrior. Naturalist his intelligence. As a true professor. Solution to brainwash diseases. Sit back, relax, and hear the wisdom. Afridamus will heal your minds. Sit back, reflect, you'll find no objection. Afridamus will clear your doubts here. Always log on to the Afridamus.